aggressive here mid-round and see whether they can find that first pick and slow down any potential execution coming in from Gambit here. They've got a full utility base here. Molotov smokes everything. And they'll be setting themselves up for more of a default play here. Waiting to see if they can read the CTs in any sort of sense.
Happy gonna hold the tighter angle inside of the A site. No one out toward quad this time. No NBK and NBK.
You hate to see it.
Dojia's already toward the doorway. Saying it though, apparently he is gonna head toward that position. At least to the slide. And they're gonna go for the boost late. Happy's gonna look toward A main. If the door opens, they'll hear it, they'll drop, they'll shuffle. But the focus will be shutting down the initial entry. No commitment so far on the opposing side. Gambit just holding the bomb back out. Adren's going to work toward A main now. It's a single flash to go in. They've got smoke still and Molotovs. And I think they're hoping at this point that they can get rid of those utilities, the last remaining utility on the Envious side.
Well, the thing is so far, that boost they've got going on, if Happy above the bomb site, they don't really need to use the remaining smokes they have. They've got good vision, and it's a very unlikely place to die from as well. Here comes the first. It looks like a bait smoke, I would say, from Gambit. Adren just trying to see what he can get out of them. What do we committing to?
I do go for Molotovs onto Forklift. They're trying to flush them out, but the first shot is from Happy. With that smoke there, Dojia can't push through that blindly. He can't figure out exactly where they are. It's a good pinch play from Waylander, though. Dojia times it so that they get highway. It's a 1-2 punch onto the A site, and suddenly Apex has to turn back because they've got highway control as well as Z connector. There's no entrance back in toward the territory that's been lost, and Dojia, excellent shot from on top of the red crate, finds Apex at the truck. That forces Devil back into hiding. And he and Kenny will come up with a plan to try and salvage the weapons they can.
Yeah, very interesting round there from Gambit. Like I said, those initial smokes just to kind of bait out any sort of utility from the CT.
They try and compensate for it, and they get one. It's a Kenny S onto Mo from a distance, but Adren does at least trade back in their favor, and Hooch is there. He's rotated back over from mid.
Well, then Apex and Happy remain. They have got 5.7s and P250s, but not really much to work with, I'd say. Two players coming with the bomb towards A main, and you know, Apex is actually in a decent position to take someone down here. There's no one towards Squeaky as of yet. As I say that, though, Dojia is slowly making his way through that area. Apex could be interesting here as he does take him down and pick up an AK as well.
Works out well because he's got control of long. He could play from that door, control his peak. But they're going to try and rotate off of this because Waylander finds the kill at the bottom of highway. That's Happy, opens up the B side, and Apex is going to be as quick as he can about rotating over, but tagged up. Yeah. As Waylander holds the position once more, 15 HP, and that's enough to discourage it.
Yep, they know his position now. And the fact he has body armor already and the AK, it's not even worth him trying to do anything with this. The money should be swelling right now for the T's. After this, they'll probably have about, like 6 or 7K each, so no problem whatsoever. And for them, he might as well try and stay alive.
It might be too late because Waylander's got now a third kill.
I'm not sure that was Waylander doing something good, Matt, or Envious just having a horrible decision to go back into it. They got smoked and flashed out. Devil just ran through and left Kenny for dead there. Kenny had no choice but to just come and commit. And that's Waylander picking up his 4th frag. Once those first 2 kills were found, the rest of them are arbitrary at that point because the round was over. The B site was open, plan down to 5 players. You could see what Envious wanted to do there, that fast push in the B storage, but once that smoke came in, it was Devil that's overcommitted at that stage, and he's stopped behind the smoke. Kenny S has just got no exit strategy here, running backwards, and Waylander gets 2 pretty simple frags there, I have to say. And 12 plays 9 now, and we have got a... Is this a force spike coming from Envious? No, it's more the partial once again. MBK just picking up the scout. A map. He made this weapon famous on, I would say, towards the quad area.
Absolutely.
We'll see what he can do with this one. Desperately need this one if they're going to gain something out of this, but going to be pistols and the scouts and some body armor once again And Waylander just doing some serious work once again. Double headshots, taking down Devil and Kenny S. 5 on 3, and Apex taking quite a lot of damage as well. So Waylander coming to life here in the second half. He's got 24 kills.
I think it's the words of Duncan Shields that he's got LAN in his name, so the LAN is in his game. But it's Hooch and Mo that are going to come out with more. Hey, I didn't say it. He did, not my words.
Okay.
NBK, though, the last alive, this scout, you said he made it famous in this position. None more famous than if he could pick up a 1v5 here. But put this in context for you. It's now 3 rounds to go for Gambit Gaming to knock out Envious.
The current champions in the major.
Yes, in group stages, the bottom of the group stage. How far has this slump really gone? This is when you want to see characters show up, or have they truly given up on themselves? Is this an implosion?
This is just so much context there. It's like you can't really tell the story better than that. These are the current major champions, potentially about to go out to Gambit Gaming. Score is now 13 tonight. Kenny has got the orb once again. He tried for that aggression towards B. Like I said, hasn't really found anything with it so far. Going to be playing more of a passive hold this time. 2 players going towards A main here. It's going to be NBK molotoving towards the entrance of the storage area, and we're facing as well. They've got control of it, but the Terrors are playing such a passive game. It's going to amount to nothing almost once utility has been depleted. Going to be smoking it off as well. And it's great for now, sure, but now they have to fall back to the bomb site, and then they're left without the smoke grenades or incendiaries.
She'll check out middle, see what's going on. Pops out the vent to make sure no one's hiding behind. Smoke off to give them a little bit more entry. It's not the full wall of smokes. Let's Hooch, though, take a step further. He actually Molotovs towards Z that time. It didn't go for the sandbags, but the smoke already on it means that it's immediately extinguished. So a bit of a misplay in terms of timing on that Molotov.
Well, we still have NBK who was patrolling towards that A storage area. His smoke is about to dissipate now. So although he's still spotting it, his situational advantage has been taken away. Waylander, is he towards the vents?
Okay. Already got there. I actually think that Molotov might have been intended to go, and he missed the pillar, so it bounced into Z because they had Hooch waiting in the cubby immediately after. But either way, he's got the vents. They'll have heard this. Devil is still in the site despite Kenny going down early. It's Waylander again, though. Another 2 kills for him. And this gets bad to worse as the French side start to crumble. It's Apex and NBK that are going to be the last alive, but my God, if you've got a God, pray to it now. Hold these weapons and do what you can in the next, because this one's gone as well.
Kenny S has got absolutely wrecked on the side there. Did you see the shot Waylander got on him? That was incredibly good. He got control of the vents, he molotovs the side, takes him out of position, and just blows the head off Kenny S there once again. He gets taken down without a single frag, 7 for 17, and that's going to be the 14th round for Gamba without dropping a single frag to add to the pain.
Got 5 digits of money on 3 players right now. Make it 4 after the round. Waylander is absolutely carrying this right now. 26 kills for him. The next highest in the server is Apex. And to be fair, on a map that he is very good on normally, but still only at 19, just goes to show you this is an incredible performance. There you go. That's the shot you were talking about.
That's just insane. Kenny's just having the worst time on that B bomb site. Went aggressive, got wrecked. Went defensive, got even harder wrecked. And then he's going to be going into the 24th round, looking down the barrel of map and match point to Gamba Gaming. The money's not great. They've got $3,400. That's maximum loss bonus.
Where's the timeout? We talk about this to Envious all the time.
I assume this is it right now, right? Yeah.
Absolutely, but where was it? I mean, when you're starting to lose the economy earlier, I said to Gambit in the first half, I called them out. I didn't think that they would give themselves a chance if they didn't lose or take advantage of the momentum that if they lost that momentum. Mark my words, they've come back in great style. And again, I mean, Waylander's just entrances on that B site is sick. He's so good. He's so aware at listening to his teammates and communication as well. We saw the first time when he goes in through A, or rather, excuse me, in through main into B and turns back toward the vent, catches the player falling out of it, which wasn't even his responsibility. Yeah. That time goes in, gets 1 pick, waits, holds the angle, and relays information that there's 1 more on the site, gets that kill. Like, he's playing really good Counter-Strike right now.
How is he getting into the vents area like that, though? Just like
well, that was off the smokes off mid. They'd already cleared it.
But it seems like they've just gone, they're oblivious to it, though. Like, Kenny with the AWP, though, right? Surely he's got to be looking towards the checkers area. Surely he's got to be doing something. I guess he was headshot maybe. No, he was on the bomb side.
He's on the bomb site. So I think he got caught in transition because he actually was down by the generator. Yeah. And when he heard the vents pop, I think he thought, all right, I need to be in a better position to cover off the second entry point, but got nailed.
It's looking too easy for them right now. So Waylander's got all this for checkers. 1 Molotov to the site. Kenny has to face. He leaves his teammate in a horrible situation. He has to face as well. And to be fair to Waylander, that's actually really sick stuff from him. So that's such an important round as well. Not dropping a single frag. We see Waylander's on 16k pretty much. He's on just below 15. And Envious will be forcing into this round. 3 Famases, 2 pistols, and 1 round will put Gambit onto match point to be knocked 1 step closer to knocking out Envious here. That's kind of insane.
And If there's ever a force to define Envious, it's always make or break with them. This is literally make or break for the entire roster in this situation. You break right now with this force buy where you get criticized heavily for doing it in the past, and it's going to be one of the most bitter pills to swallow. If you pull this off, you give yourself a lifeline, a desperate one at that, because as you can see, the money is out of control on the Gambit side right now.
There we go then. Round number 24, Gambit with a massive advantage in terms of the weaponry and utility as well. Waylander will be facing straight in towards that B storage area. Actually going pretty aggressive here as well through the smoke. Doesn't land any damage just yet. We'll see how the CTs approach this situation. Gonna be playing a very standard formation at the moment. Kenny S obviously with no orb, just a FAMAS and body armor and one flashbang. This is such a desperate round for the CTs, holding back and just hoping they're not going to punish for this. They've got one smoke remaining and an incendiary. Gambit is making them sweat right now, just slowing things down, seeing what options are available to them.
Apex, again, going to play this rotation position in middle, which he's arguably extremely effective at, if not the most effective at, with a rifle. Now he's gone back over toward A. It's NBK and Heath are going to flash in, so once more Envious want information. They want to get in. They've realized now that no one is there, and NBK is going to burrow into the lockers, but where's the rest of the information going to be garnered? And at least is a rotation to cover for this. Now they're going to push on to B. It's Devil to go first, but look out toward Toxic. They need to spot this right now, and Waylander once more is going to be in the right position at the right time. It's 2 more kills for him as he gets much closer to that 30 total against Envious in an elimination match. Apex goes back deep within the depths of the A site. Doja is going to have heard that. He'll have information that there's one away, and it's going to be 2 kills to go before they find map point.
Well, there it is.
Gambit, the new roster.
Crazy scenes there, and it's Doja going to be picking up that kill on MBK as well. Apex, I'm afraid there's no chance of you winning this round, and that's his Gambit, just bleeding them out, making them sweat, making them question their setup. So they had to go for the pushes in the end. They needed something to work with there, and there it is. 15 plays 9 now. They're 1 round away from being knocked out of this major. Unbelievable scenes. Gambit only dropping 1 frag once again, and here it is then. The money still 3,400, can only pretty much get a similar buy coming in. FAMAS's, MBK could potentially get a scout if he wanted to, but look at the patience here from Waylander. They don't even consider this position. 2 easy frags for him once again. He's currently sat on 28 kills. So a lot of them have been gifted to him, you have to say. Like, a lot of those situations where sort of Envious are just running into him and trying to make things happen.
But to get those gifts, you've got to be in the right place.
Sure.
And that's as much luck as skill in some sense. Happy's going to get aggressive, try and get up toward middle, make something of this, and it's another desperate push, another one to catch them off guard because it's all they can try and do at this point. And in fairness this time, if Happy drops, he's actually got a chance at this because Doja's gone towards Squeaky, and Hooch is left middle wide open. MBK's going to push through the smoke. Happy's going to drop down momentarily. Surely he's going to consider this when MBK doesn't get much in the way of information now. Not only that, we've got everyone pushed up. Apex has gone all the way into into T-spawn. Adren and Doja get toward the A site. You'd think that would be the call, that it's clear, but suddenly, somehow, map control is entirely gifted to the way of Envious this time. Apex's position is extremely good because the bomb's gone down. Happy hasn't needed to drop. He can stay up there. That is a perfect flash as well, and he gets Adren. A round out of nowhere. It's not done yet. Doja's got the rifle. Devil's picked up an AK to go with it, but Apex is going to close it out all through an early push on the B tunnels.
So somehow that all-in gamble, not playing a single player towards the A site, pushing B storage, boosting up on middle as well. I can still the shouting from Envious. They're still believing right now. 5 rounds in a row required. Money's still not amazing, but they do manage to get an AWP here.
To be fair, I think that was Maniac shouting, so perhaps trying to get them back into it.
Well, this guy, so far since he's joined the team, it hasn't been a pretty affair for him. To be fair, since he's come on as coach, I think they've got out of groups pretty much every single event he's been at. He needs this.
I don't think it's his fault entirely
no, of course
either.
not. I'm just saying in terms of his reputation, as soon as he joined, it's been a bit of a nightmare. But anyway, then we get the round number 26.
So a change of position inside the B site this time for Envious. Both players favoring the construction, the checker side of the site. No one on the platform. And that's because Kenny wants to get another unorthodox play with his AWP. They're relying on catching Gambit off guard. Last round it worked. But is it a gimmick or is it truly something they can hold to fruition in their favor for the majority in the rest of this map because they can't afford one slip up? And they've had trouble getting the first kills a number of times on the CT side. We'll see if they can find it here. Again, not a lot of information gathered, and patience is virtue right now for Gambit. Doji is out toward that doorway. He'll have heard Apex and MBK go toward that A-main position as well.
We have got the boost coming in from Devil towards middle right now. So MBK finds the first one. Devil now coming to life, finds the kill on towards Hooch. Can he get more? Actually, Apex saving him as well. Coming in for the crossfire. He finds 2 headshots, and now Envious with the 11th round on the board. Dosia trying to do what he can, but he will be punished by Apex in the end. And this
Sick
is
timing on that boost, because the
Molotov
Molotov just extinguished. They would have thought, all right, that's cleared. There's no way. And then because they have that double play over at I keep wanting to call it construction. They have no idea why.
Like.
But checkers, and they boost him right back up. That's very well
What
timed.
I liked about that is even more. As soon as Devil got all the attention, Apex is facing straight away. Look, no one's looking at him whatsoever. Double spray down, pretty simple affair, but the teamwork and that synergy is very impressive. And they're going to need a lot more of that map. They're going to get 4 rounds in a row here. Money's still strong for Gambit, and we'll see if Envious can hold on. They're very in tune to what Gambit are doing right now, pushing at all the right times, getting key information, boosting into the vents, and just finding Gambit out of position. But it's going to take a lot more to hold on for this long. But so far, so good in the last 2. Kenny S back on the orb. He's going to be towards the B storage area once again. Devil with him. And this is more of a default play coming from Gambit right now. They haven't actually done too much in terms of set executions. It's all to be more working the picks, getting the splits going, and Waylander doing some fantastic work with his positional control.
Kenny and Devil looking for the same approach this time. They've chiseled into that economy slightly. They've halved it, but they're still a round in hand at least for Gambit, if not 2. In this situation, MBK, that's why we call it that spot. He's got Happy to play off of, and as you can see it in the distance, Apex.
Here he comes. Yeah,
climbing back up highway. And it is going to be the boost toward middle. Devil's going to do the same thing again. There's no Molotov timing. In turn, he's going to drop it so they can't push him, so he can focus elsewhere, but Adren's there. It's Apex to pop back out. Same bait and switch, but this time not quite as effective. Thankfully for Envious' side, they won't push through the vents immediately after it, but they will flash off Apex. Mid's down. It's all on Kenny inside the B site. Happy's found one, as has Kenny. And a late smoke's going to delay them. Hooch is going to take the fight, though. He wants in early because he knows the rotation's coming. He knows it's going to be a threat. Happy's going to spot the foot going by the smoke, and he pops out. It's all down and done.
Staying alive here just about. They're losing those initial frags, but Apex did just enough there to distract and slow them down as they went towards that B split. Kenny found one. Looked like he was struggling a little bit onto the side there, and Happy with some audacious play through the smoke there. Does back him up and seal the deal as they get their 12th round on the board. It's a terrorist timeout now, so Gambit taking time just to work out how they're going to approach the situation. Obviously now that's, what, 3 rounds in a row for Envious after hitting match point for Gambit.
One of the things we discussed at the end of the first half as well was Kenny's contribution. He only had 4 kills. We said it wasn't an issue because they were still finding the rounds. Now it's starting to be a problem. Yes, he gets one in that round. It was a crucial one. It slowed down their entry, but he's still only at 8 kills, and a number of times he's been overwhelmed. But like you said, Waylander walking out, you'd think he's watching the vents, gets caught there, goes into the A side. He's playing at quad that round. No smokes come out. You think he has a clean line of sight.
Yeah.
In they go again. I think it was Hooch that came out from the door that time and got him. Like, he's definitely had issues connecting on these fast, high-pressure shots.
Well, they seem a little bit more revitalized now. They're actually taking control of the A storage, like aggressively almost every single time. It seemed like they kind of said, well, we've got nothing to lose now. We might as well keep trying, keep this aggression. It's working. We're finding the first picks here, and actually this synergy between the vents and the mid area is working pretty well as well. They're timing it quite nicely. Devil and Apex coordinating between each other and actually finding the kills there and getting a lot of information just as the B split comes in as well. So that's great for their teammates. Happy with some big plays through the smoke there. That's actually quite impressive for him and actually saving the life of his teammates as well. So they've got 3 rounds to go. The money's still very strong for Gambit. I think look right now, they're going to be in a full buy with no AWP this time. They went for the kind of fake execution now. I think that they're overthinking this situation a little bit too much. They're trying to just do everything they can to outsmart Envious right now. I feel like just a simple execution with the smokes, something that doesn't have to be all over the top. They can just do 2 smokes towards highway, 1 towards quad, try and stay as a unit and just work the frags that way. They're trying to overplay every sort of situation right now, in my opinion. We'll see what they bring to the table once this pause comes in. I think we are getting back into the game right now. 10 seconds remain. Kenny is still on the AWP. Like I said, 8 frags. It's been one of the poorest showings we've seen from him this whole, not only this whole tournament, the last 2 or 3 events. He's had a great 2016 just in terms of individual performance. It's been the rest of his team that have been lackluster. So,
I mean, that's one of the weird stories, right? I mean, Kenny comes over originally not playing well. They lose in the finals of their first major with this, well, not even this roster. Now the Devil's here, but the first roster shuffle when they brought in Kenny and Apex, Cologne obviously, and he was very hard on himself for not having a good performance. He plays better at Cluj. They win that. And ever since then, it's been he and Apex, the new guys, that have actually been doing the bulk of the heavy lifting for this team. The rest of them seem to be in tatters, and oftentimes you wonder if their personalities clash. But 3 rounds is the goal, the only goal, the mandatory task in front of Envious right now as Waylander's going to fall away from that B tunnels early, given that the Molotov was dropped down and deployed from the CT side quite quickly, as well as a smoke on the initial entry. And it's more passive this time. Devil and Kenny going to go back toward that platform. Meanwhile, on A side, they've already distracted and pulled Apex up toward the top of Highway, which means Waylander, who's poised and ready inside mid right now, could lurk out and try and take some Highway control if they're not careful of this.
That's it. The execution actually coming in right now. MBK have a lovely shot into Adren by himself as well. The way the rest of his teammates, he gets taken down 5-on-4. No one's committing. What is this?
That's lackluster performance because he's on his own. They do get one trade onto Apex, but he found Mo unsuspectingly in the corner. There's the play from Waylander. They left the mid open. He does come up the Highway, but look at NBK with 2 quick kills. Both on the entry from his left side, and now he knows exactly where Waylander's playing from. And now the economy becomes a factor because they have chiseled it away from Gambit. They should be able to control the situation in the next, but it's going to be an aid from Kenny. Flank was there from Devil, if not.
We've always talked about the communication being an issue for Team Gambit. Obviously, they've got a massive array of different nationalities there. And it's, why is Adren jumping out A main by himself? I was trying to work out what the hell that was. It's not like they're setting up for a fake. They haven't got people on the other side of the map. They just had Waylander who's doing the lurk play. But it was very, very strange play. MBK have a lovely shot here from his coin position. And the bomb goes down. That looked a little bit too easy. They kind of went for the right idea, like I said. Go for a simple A execution to stay together, make sure you're trading frags. If they had actually done that, I think that round would have worked out for them. Running out 1 by 1 and then not being assertive is not the way to do it. Kenny is about to be tested now. AK rush straight towards B. Why not? He gets taken down to 6 HP, but does survive.
That was a day shift. And what is that from Kenny S? He gets Waylander on the way through. They had no idea he would be at the small pit. He was a sitting duck afterwards, but at least something for him to cheer about. Apex, this is good timing. He's come back through the vents early, but does he know? I'm not sure he's aware that Hooch had already pushed through. Happy finds him immediately after. But if Apex could have stayed alive in that position, it could have been an absolute thorn in the side of Gambit, who now finally have control of the B site. And with a bomb going down, it's going to be 3v3 on the retake. And Envious, this is massive pressure. This is their biggest task yet. Kits on all 3. Devil's made his way through the vents already. He's going to try and get as much information as possible. Happy's going to go ahead and Molotov off the box behind him so he doesn't have to worry about any chance of anyone sitting and trying to use timing. That allows him to go in. And Devil, he's going to try and raise hell, but Adren's not going to allow it. As he goes ahead and gets immediately back into him. Leave it to Happy to find the refrag, but it's Adren to close it out. And Envious are done. Gambit lives on.
Unbelievable. That's it. Envious have been knocked out of the major. The current champions going home in the group stage is to Gambit Gaming. No disrespect to them, it's just not a result you expect to hear. And somehow it's the B rush in the end. Is all it takes to actually take the win here against Envious. You can see the look on their face. What does this mean for the future of this team, Matt?
And a little bit of emotion shown. It looked like they thought they could do it, that they got the momentum going, and this is not at all what they would have expected, what no one would have expected.
They lost to CLG yesterday, and today it's Gambit. Teams you would expect these guys to be heads and shoulders above, but...
I mean, you have to put a scope on this team now. What happens? What happens next? We know the French have done many roster shuffles in the past. You go to Very Games, you have the Titan deal, then you go to the LDLC teams. They all get shuffled around. They've already done a shuffle within those 2 teams. Where else did they go? Where else can they go? And what is going to happen? I mean, this is big.
I wish I knew. Like, this is a massive problem for them right now. It's not like it's a one-off event. The last 2 or 3 events have been absolutely shocking. The whole of 2016 has been completely lackluster. Not just in the sense of bad, it's dire. Like, they're going out in group stages consistently now and losing to NRG Mixes, they're losing to Gambit, they're losing to CLG. Teams, we expect them to actually run over.
This is the thing. I mean, we were talking about Virtus Pro slump at the start of this year. I think this is way worse. When you put the put this into perspective, this just happened at a major. They just got last place in a major. On the flip side of that, we do have to give credit to Gambit.
Of course.
We absolutely do. Waylander was sick. That's one of the best games I've seen in this tournament so far from an individual player. I mean, in the qualifier, even we weren't giving them a chance at times, but their timings aren't terrible. They've got good flashes through. Like you said, they did lack some execution there still, and sure the slump from Envious kind of gave them a chance in this, but credit where credit's due. They now live on in this group. They were a new roster put together after Cluj. They're the newest roster in this tournament. And that's, I mean, this is big for them. This when you look at who else is in this group, CLG, you have to think there's a chance for them in that. So
of course,
I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure everybody else is. This just got very, very interesting because not only that, another French team's on the chopping block. But first, let's hear from Gambit. Let's hear from Hooch. He's standing by with Red Eye.
Thank you very much, Hooch. Congratulations on an amazing victory. When you had to play Envy, when you looked at the draw, they're the defending champions. They're not in the best of shape, but it must have been a tough game for you to look at. So how did you approach it?
Well, we have a really nice group, really tough teams. Australia is really good team. Envy was last winner, and CLG also a very good team. But we knew we could make it, even at least win one match. But when Envy lost to CLG with a really bad City side, after even we lost 6-9 as City, after a 5-0 lead, like almost like against Australis, I was feeling confident that we can make it. And we took 15 rounds, but then we choked and couldn't do one normal round. But thanks to Adrian, he saved our life. And also credits to Waylander, who was really disappointed with the match yesterday, but he just wrecked them.
Yeah, he definitely stepped up today. So looking forward into the group, it's a really bad group for you, or it was a bad group with such great teams in it. But potentially now you get a match against one of the other two in the group. It could be CLG, more likely CLG, I would suggest.
More like CLG, but they're really in good shape and anything can happen. But this is major. There is no easy groups. All the best teams are here, and you can be happy or unhappy with your group. I mean, D group is really hard, but our group is really hard too. So it's major.
Many fans would have looked at the group and would have said, Gambit, well, yeah, probably going to go out in fourth in this group. You haven't done that now. You've got a shot at making the quarterfinals. Realistically, how far can Gambit make it?
I don't make predictions about my team, but at qualifier, everyone was saying that we're going to go out first in group, and we proved them wrong. Now I hope we will do the same, just it.
Got any messages for Thorin, maybe? Does Thorin rate you?
Storin? I know Storin for a long time. He's a good guy. Sometimes he's just too much, but it's okay. That's why people love him. So just hi, Thorin.
All right. Well, there you go. Hi, Thorin. Let's go over to the desk with Sir Scoots and find out whether Thorin rates the Gambit rate.
Thank you very much, Red Eye. We will get with Thorin, but again, just a note, one thing that we kind of did behind the scenes, kind of looking at some stats. This is the first time, I'm pretty sure, that a defending major champion has gone out 0-2 the next major.
Or just even in the groups.
Or even in groups?
Yeah.
Okay,
Groups.
it goes that far.
Yeah,
So that's even worse. Again, we've talked about their slump, that they're not looking good at all. You called it. But again, another stat, 4 CT rounds for Envious over 2 maps, all in this map.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sorry to say this to French fans, or to fans of Envy, but that's very reminiscent of North American teams and their struggles. And that just kind of is something that's very indicative of the state this team is in terms of not playing as a team. It's much easier on that T side to group up, to go for trades, to have some easy entrance into the bomb sites. It is what we see out of North American teams all the time. They don't have that teamwork, that communication is not there to kind of coordinate your defensive setups, your rotations, pop flashes, nades to slow things down. And this is a very brittle Envy team. When they went down 5-0, you could almost feel like they were going to break. Now, they did manage to cling on and make that comeback in the first half, but in the second half, they just kind of caught on a little bit too late in that. They got involved in the match far too late.
Duncan.
Yeah, I mean, that stat's particularly noticeable to me because the main things you think of in terms of what a CT side is about communication, so that you're giving the information based on what you're seeing, and then obviously about skill. Like, you have to be able to hold your positions, you have to be able to get kills on the people. And so, on paper, this should be one of the most skilled teams in the whole world. Even now, okay, Devil's had a lot of problems since he came in the team. Some of the other guys here are still players who, they have matches where you're like, this guy could still be one of the best in the world, but then you look at what they're able to put out overall, and they're just not putting up good CT halves. They're not getting those kills, and so actually skill is suddenly a factor for Envious. They're not having star performances, and aside from Kenny S with the odd performance, ironically in this game, very, very poor actually, but aside from some Kenny S maps over the last couple of months, there hasn't been a whole lot in this team. Like, they've totally struggled. Before they had this, what was great about the Envious era when they won the major was you looked at it and they had almost every role set. Like, they had the amazing entry frag at Apex, they had Kenny S was like a good AWPer, didn't have to be the star to carry the team anymore. NBK was a fantastic support player, Happy the lurker and in-game leader. Kiyoshima was admittedly struggling a little bit, but you saw the whole team. It was a very complete team, and you were like, this is a team that should be a top elite level team for a long time. You look now, which player, aside from Kenny S as the AWPer, and like I say, in this game, very poor, who's even good at their role? I don't think there's anyone that someone would even nominate for like top 3 at their position. That's how far they've fallen. On the other side of the equation, like, it's not like Gambit completely rinsed them out. Obviously, the comeback there at the end showed that Gambit didn't have all the pieces themselves when they switched over the other side, but this was all powered by the Waylander performance. And interestingly enough, Waylander was someone who first came onto people's radars in terms of the proper lands, at the Katowice 2015 offline qualifier. He went with a team called Peter, and he actually had Hooch as a stand-in there. And even though he's Finnish and he was all these Russian guys, they were the team actually that took Kenny S's Titan team to an overtime game. That was actually on cash as well, interesting enough. I think that was the game that Kenny had like 50 frags in as well. So that was when people first saw him, but at the time everyone was like, oh, he's just an online player like that. You know, he had one offline game, and obviously that team didn't qualify. I think they went out in last place actually. So it's been a long trek for him, and he's the guy who actually, out of all the names in the CIS, you wouldn't have expected him to get back in the mix, but he's had a monster map at exactly the right time and against a team who's struggling skill-wise. So he's got to look fantastic in this game, even though we don't know how that'll continue on.
And as you start talking on, definitely want your thoughts on it. We're going to start rolling our highlight clips, and a lot of our highlights are the guy you just mentioned.
I was going to say, I imagine it's all
We're
Waylander.
talk about him a lot. So roll those clips, and you can go and talk about it.
Well, yeah, sure. So just picking up on the Waylander point, you know, we saw him obviously at the last chance qualifier for the major, and he was playing SK Gaming and Renegades there on train, and he looked very, very good. Now, statistically, as Duncan says, online, everyone was like, is this guy ever going to show up at a LAN? And people were like, they still didn't seem to be that impressed with his performance at that qualifier. Here, he's just wrecked Envious. In slump aside, whatever you want to say about it, he's gone toe-to-toe with players that you would say individually, whatever's going on in the team, are some of the best in the world. So this is a real coming-of-age performance from him. But I really like the makeup of this Gambit team. The reason I said they were going to be Envious here is because, first of all, the slump Envious are in are absolutely, it's horrendous, it's unparalleled, it's unprecedented, right? Virtus Pro, you know, they're actually probably better off right now, it seems. And even with the likes of MBK here, you know, going big, who is MBK for me, probably has a claim to be the most rounded and complete and consistent French player at the moment. You know, Gambit have got a very good, well-balanced team. You know, Hooch is a great in-game leader. You know, Thorin's known him a long time. I've had the pleasure of going out and partying with him at ESWCs and stuff. He's a great guy. And he's actually started to put the pieces together from players who were almost like misfits and cast-offs from other teams. And I actually rate Gambit as a better team than CLG. I mean, this guy here, Mo, when he got kicked from the old Hellraisers lineup, it made no sense because he'd just come in being their most statistically strongest player. They had that ridiculous run at the Ace of Predator Masters while Mo was the MVP there. So, and they decided he was surplus to requirements. And now with Gambit Gaming, he's kind of having the last laugh because, again, I think this is these guys really have the opportunity to fly the flag for that CIS region, no doubt about it. So a hugely impressive performance for Gambit. You know, we're going to talk a lot about Envious, but we've absolutely got to give plaudits here to Gambit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the cool thing about someone who's always been known, it's the funniest thing because it's someone who's known as that onliner, like Waylander. It's like that's the reputation you want. That means you're doing something right. You can't name one of the top players in the world right now who wasn't at one point considered an onliner by the community. Yeah. That's just like a rite of passage. Olaf was known as like just a pugger, just an online pugger in that scene for a while before he blew up. JW as well. No one thought that he was going to be able to do anything with that play style. It's supposed to be very online, very erratic. Absolutely. He was going to be able to be a top player. All these guys, I mean, even in other teams, even in the Danish team, even in the North American scene, all these stars go through that phase of being an onliner. So you obviously need these LAN performances to back that up at some point, and it's good that he's got this under his belt. That can help you build up some confidence for the next one, and then you go into that and you go, I've done it before. Now you have that experience.
And obviously the big implication you have to think about here is, okay, CLG still has to play Astralis. We can't write them off entirely, but it's very likely Astralis is going to win that match. Yeah. Suddenly CLG is playing Gambit for a chance to go through the qualifier. So we're going to have a surprise second place no matter what, because I don't know anyone, in fact, I don't think any of us analysts had CLG or Gambit coming out second. Everyone was pretty sure it was going to be Envious second, first or second. So already we're probably going to have a surprise team making a legend spot. And imagine if Gambit makes the legend spot.
Because
actually, they have some legendary CSGO players, but they're supposed to be washed up.
Yep.
And even in the CIS region, it's supposed to be the other teams that are good now.
Final thought for you then.
Oh, well, just that, you know, they gotta squash the beef, these French guys. They got to squash the beef because there's a good team made up of French players, but it's neither of the two here. And in fact, at this rate, the only thing that's French that's going to be left in America is going to be the Statue of Liberty because none of them are playing good at the moment. It's like, it's ridiculous. They got to go back to the drawing board because this isn't working. Envious have got real problems. Yeah. This isn't a phase. This is really, really bad.
I mean, it's safe to say we're going to see some roster changes.
Well, I mean, even Summer's in the back room going like, no, I'm not French. I'm not French. I'm
North
American. I'm North American. I swear.
That's such bull right there, I tell you. All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. That's going to do it for this segment. We have one more elimination match. That's going to be G2 and North American's favorite, Cloud9. Who is going to keep their dreams alive and who's going to end it right here today? Come back after the break. All right, folks, welcome back to Columbus, Ohio. We are here in day 2 of the Counter-Strike Global Offensive first major of 2016. $1 million on the line. We've swapped out a few of my analysts here. Let's take a look at who we got this time. Now we've got Fifth Lauren in the first position. We kept Moses in the middle, and now we've found Yanko. We ripped him out of the production area. He's a little under the weather right now, so you can see that we're trying to not get contagious. It's a long event. We all don't need to be sick by Sunday, so we've kind of quarantined Yanko over there. How you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling better than I did this morning, though.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Small setback, but nothing to worry about.
It's all the pills that MLG gave him.
He's just getting
Pops
pumped
pills.
full of medication. So let's get right into it. The Vitas are going to start really soon. You know, obviously we're kind of cranking up, trying to catch up on the schedule due to that crazy 5 overtime game from earlier tonight. But this one, obviously, Cloud9, G2. You know, G2 obviously lost to Virtus Pro badly on Train, 16-1. And then Na'Vi beat Cloud9 16-9 to send them both down to the lower bracket. This should end up being a closer match than both of those.
I don't see G2 playing the way they did yesterday.
Exactly.
At least I hope I don't. I think this will be.
I hope I do.
Well, of course you do because you have them. But I think that I don't think G2 will.
I mean, it's
come
hard
in
to
with
show up. I mean,
it's
they have to
different.
get 16-0 to do
Yeah,
worse.
and the thing is, it's a little bit different as well because you have a team like VP going up against, and they were obviously not playing the way that they've been playing for the past few weeks.
Yeah.
They came in, had nothing to lose really. Everyone counted them out, and they just, Virtus Plow.
Like we talked about, the Plow showed up.
Yeah, and then you have Cloud9 looked a little bit weaker as well yesterday, and then coming in here, obviously they are also prepared. They have their new coach that's not currently here. They have a new player with Stewie 2K.
Yeah.
Also, obviously a lot to prove. And this is actually quite a fun game as well because you have Skadoodle never made it out of major. G2 with current roster except for the first one never actually made out of the groups as well. So I think it's going to be close, but I still have G2 winning it.
Moses, why don't you walk us through the veto real quick and see where we're at today?
Well, actually, I mean, just flat out Dust 2. Let's say yesterday talking to Cloud9, they wanted to play this against Na'Vi, and that's one of Navi's strongest maps, and they're not scared. It's one of the maps that Cloud9 feels the most comfortable on, most confident. I talked yesterday, Cloud9 players at a really, really good individual level. Taking that even from the North American region, you can just see the level. And even against Na'Vi, they won some fights, they won some battles. It was just more so they got tactically outplayed. So I think they have a really good shot. I mean, obviously I have them going out of this group, so I'm going to pick them to win it.
Yeah, I mean, Skadoodle has been playing really well yesterday, and obviously Dust 2 is a map where an AWP player is extremely potent. And we also have the storyline of, Existence on one side, who made it out of the groups at only the first major, DreamHack Winter 2013, and Skadoodle, who has never made it out of the group stages. And, he's obviously really motivated to do that this time, and he just said, I'm just going to kill everyone. I don't care what my team does. I want to make it out of the groups this time.
And final thoughts and kind of predictions, and obviously we've talked about Jordan's calling. The new guy, Irakanji, is not here. That's helping him with strats. But and obviously that's a very T-sided, heavy job. So final thoughts and predictions on this.
I think Dust 2 is a very good map for Cloud9 since it's a lot of open spaces. And if you look at Skadoodle, for example, versus G2's offer, which is Smith's, this used to be Smith's best map. Yeah. Not so anymore. But I think if Cloud9 were to have a chance to beat G2, it would have been Dust 2, or it would beat Dust 2. So I think, yeah, it's going to be a close game. But like I said, I got to stick with my prediction. I'm going to say G2 wins.
And you have predicted Cloud9 to actually come out, so you have them winning this match still?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Any embellishment?
Well, I
on
think
that?
Skadoodle's going to be a huge thing. Him coming in today and saying he's going to kill everyone, that's like kind of like the fire that we've wanted to see in Skadoodle for a long time. Now, whether he can put that in game is a different story. I think Stewie 2K is very much improved on what he was when he originally joined Cloud9. I think we've seen a lot of progression of him as a player. So Dust 2 also a very easy map for Jordan to call. I mean, it's a very well-known map. It's not like he's got to do anything complex. So I'm going to take Cloud9. I think their individual level. I've seen a lot of up and downs in G2 recently, so not too confident in them.
I mean, G2 yesterday had an abysmal individual performance for pretty much all of their players, and if that repeats today, I don't think they're going to make it through. But I think it's highly unlikely that they have such a terrible performance again. And as I predicted G2 to make it out of the groups, I think they're going to win this match in the end.
Okay, we have a few more minutes. There seems to be a tech error, so I'm going to keep talking to you guys a little bit.
I like how they're like, hurry, hurry.
Yeah, for those people at home, like it's always nice and scripted, right? And we've got a nice flow. I got a nice run of show in front of me of what I'm supposed to do. And then chaos breaks. The one question I wanted to point out or ask, you know, all these guys, with the exception of Stewie, have been to majors before. Every single one of them, and a couple of the guys on G2 have been to all 8, right? So how does, like, what does like Jordan have to do to just make sure that Stewie stays calm in this kind of high stress?
They need to just put him in positions where he's very, very comfortable. The big thing they need to do also is the mid to B split on this map was one of their big weaknesses last year on it, and they've gotten much better at it, and I think they just need to hold strong on that and let Stewie kind of just play his own game. Don't put him in too many awkward situations where he has no chance of having success.
All right, well, thank you very much, gentlemen. As you can see, the fly-through is happening. The first time we're going to see Dust 2 at the tournament this week. It's going to be Cloud9 taking on G2. Who will go home? Who will fight tomorrow to keep going, to try to get into that nationwide arena? And this time, let me see who we got up there. Do we still have those boys up there? No, we don't. We do. Sadikist, Henry G. It's all yours again.
You know, Scott, I prefer
Same
to be
boys.
called a man, but boys, I guess will do.
It's more accurate, I would say.
Oh, wow, okay.
Anyway, Matthew, another interesting game coming up. G2, who got battered yesterday by VP, desperate to go forward out of the groups here, will be going up against Cloud9.
Yeah, they said they've escaped that Titan curse, but apparently that wasn't the case yesterday when they got absolutely obliterated by Virtus Pro. And Scott said it as well, first time we see Dust 2 in this tournament. I was starting to think there was a conspiracy in North America to not have Dust at the major, but it is going to be Freakazoid starting things off aggressively out toward A long. There's no one going to do much more damage in his direction, although there is RPK and Shocks that did have that early presence, knowing that that's the most likely place to be pushed early.
And we have got G2 on 5 sets of armor as well, so quite an aggressive fragging approach here. Scream does get a headshot to start, and here comes that mid-split that Moses just mentioned before, smoking off towards CD spawn, and here comes the play towards the B site.
Quick flash over, does catch out Existence slightly, but he's able to turn back fast enough and then turn around again to find not only Freakazoid, but also Stewie. It shocks onto Skadoodle immediately after, and suddenly it's all Shroud remaining. And G2, they'll strike first blood. They'll take the pistol away from Cloud9.
Holding very strong there. Existence finds 4 headshots as well, looking incredibly sharp towards that platform area of the B site. Cloud9 going for a very fast play there. They noticed they headshot Scream and sent him packing back towards the B site. They acted very quickly from that. Smoke goes down towards the spawn, and it looked like a great approach for them, but Existence doing some phenomenal work there.
You have to wonder as well, G2 just watched the defending champions, their countrymen, Envious, fall. We know there's some blood between the teams. That's motivation.
I would say so. They want to prove themselves here. Well then, we've got SMG, heavy buy coming in from G2 here. 2 MP9s and an MP7, and of course a force buy from Cloud9 as well. Scout on Shroud. Interesting, he's not going over to Skadoodle, but he's got the Desert Eagle, and PT50's rest of his teammates going fast towards shore here. Frags to be coming in any second.
It's going to be cancelled out though by Shocks and Smith, but look at the pistol from Stewie. Skadoodle gets one immediately before that with the Deagle, so aggressive buy from him on this second round, considering no bomb plant. Keep that in mind because they mentioned the AWP on the desk and his presence with it on this map. So getting a little bit heavy on his purchases early might indicate that they won't be able to get it out as early as they might have liked.
You can see how much this means to G2, getting really fired up here against the force buy of Cloud9. We can see now they can't really justify anything into this round, just 5 Glocks and 1 flashbang from Stewie as well. G2 can justify keeping the MP9 in hand, and Smiths, I assume, will be picking up something here. He's actually only got the silence USP, so he'll be looking to get the AWP out next round. That'll be an interesting storyline. Skadoodle versus Smith. Smith is very good on Dusty, to be fair to him, especially towards the A-bomb side. Shock's going up aggressively towards the top of middle, does find Stewie, and he's going to have 3 players in lower B waiting for him.
Shocks with 2. Skadoodle gets immediately back in to cancel it out again with a pistol, but it's still not going to suffice as they'll be down doubly so. Freakazoid gets close to the mid doors. He still has bomb in his hands, but great positioning right now by Scream in the B tunnels.
Yeah, this is obviously over at this point. Freakazoid with the bomb and Skadoodle towards the top of middle. There's waiting for any CTs to get a little bit too audacious here. We have got Scream in the upper B tunnels and eradicating that possibility. And Smith's from Existence just watching towards short as well. That's a headshot coming in. It's going to be Smith's going down to 21 HP as well. They're trying to do what they can with these P250s. Existence finally finds the kill on towards Freakazoid there and finishes off the round, taking down Skadoodle as well. They did manage to drop Smiths in the end and Shocks as well, so didn't really have to invest too much into that round, but here it is, the first gun round. You'd expect the AWP to come out on Skadoodle. Same story for Smiths as well, I'd imagine. I thought they'd go for a double AWP setup as well. They're actually just dropping the AWP over to him. So this is it now. We have seen Skadoodle have a very strong tournament in terms of individual play so far. He has been coming more to life. A lot of people have been calling him out for not being assertive enough, haven't had that killer instinct, Matt, in certain situations, on Dust 2 especially. So it'll be interesting to see whether he utilises his spawn and actually goes for the aggressive picks here. And we'll see what kind of setup coming in from the CTs. Looks very default so far. And Skadoodle actually going for that straight up B pick, but gets punished by Smiths with the AWP. He gets taken down by nothing. They've actually got something to work with now.
It is a good response, Frag, and nothing's going to do a trade once more as Freakazoid goes down, but Existence has rotated out of middle early. They didn't go for that split push, which means he has the freedom to do so, and apparently that's too much freedom to give. Stewie's going to go for the late lurk. Young Stew has been hyped up so much for these individual plays, these ones that are a little bit unorthodox. There was questions when he was picked up by this roster. A lot of people skeptical. I wonder if this kind of situation where it's atypical in a 1 versus 3 might favor his skill set, but they've figured out his position at this point in time, and he needs to be careful.
They've got the bomb as well on this side, so he'd have to pull off an absolute miracle here as well. He's very focused towards the A side, assuming someone will be on that crossover area waiting for him. That's not the case, actually. One player towards T-spawn, watching for the tunnels cross, and they've just got a full crossfire on the bomb as well. This is almost impossible. He's got a flashbang. He can find one kill here and fall back. Maybe that's something to work with. Doesn't get any intel here whatsoever. Eventually shut down by Shocks, and then he dropped 2 frags there as well. So, as I just called out Skadoodle for not having that killer instinct, he took his spawn, went straight towards that B pick, gets taken down straight away, but they had decent trades. But
and not only that, I have to commend him, because that's one of the things, and again, Moses said it on the desk.
Yep.
If that's the kind of fire we've wanted from Skadoodle in a long time,
yep.
And that's something he never would have done formerly. He's normally the stationary AWP player. So to see him be that aggressive is encouraging, but he needs to weigh it. He needs to make sure that he doesn't get caught out by it too much.
It's conversations I've had with Sean in the past. It's just like, he's the kind of player you need to tell him what to do. You need to say, right, we want you to go pick this. A top AWPer won't be told what to do. They'll be saying where they feel confident getting picks, and they'll be using their spawn and say, I want to go to this round. I'm confident I can go find a player on this certain situation. So that's what you need from a top AWPer. You don't want to be telling them what to do every single time. But there it is, G2 4-0 up here. Smith's still on the AWP towards middle. It's going to be a partial buy coming in from Cloud9 here. Upgraded pistols, body armor, and nothing with the smoke and 2 flashbangs. I'd assume they'll be going for a B split here, considering their setup. And Smiths will be ready, but Skadoodle does find that kill on the screen towards the back of B as well. Smiths needs to perform here.
Smiths will. And speaking of Skadoodle, this is another map. This is probably Smith's best map where an AWP can come into play for G2, as nothing will at least get him down pushing through with the pistols. And a bit of chaos right now ensues within the smoke, and the flashes rain out. It's Shroud with 1, but it's all he gets because RPK immediately there to follow. And watch Smiths. I do want to bring this up as well because he is very good at the mid pick from the CT side on this map.
He may be good, but Skadoodle very fast as well. It's going to be a challenging prospect to actually have the balls to face up towards middle and see whether you want to challenge him. We'll see what they can bring to the table here. We actually see Existence on 11-0 right now. He's had an incredible game since that early pistol round.
I mean, maybe the envious thing really did light a fire under him because he said he's not retiring until he wins a major. Well, get through this game is the first and foremost step. Good performance to start things off.
Fast play going towards long as well. Stewie leading the charge, gets towards blue bin as well. Just going to be RPK, can be very strong in this situation. Does spot one player as well. He's going to need backup from Shocks any second now. Molotov towards that blue bin area and just trying to flashbang and find the first kill. It's actually Stewie 2K coming out on top, but Smith's finding a frag onto Freakazoid on the other side of the map.
Stewie's gone beyond that long cave. He's stuck in beside the dumpster right now. They'll let him push as well and try and find some more information. They've lost their initial entry fragger in Freakazoid. We talk about his fearlessness at times to be willing, in fact, to go in and almost be the martyr. So with him gone early, they've got to have someone else who's willing to take the fight, willing to take the charge. Meanwhile, though, once more, similar to what we saw in the third round, Scream has pushed B tunnels because they know they've put pressure on long. So G2 are doing very well to take map control where it's given, and this is even more fearful.
Yeah, Shocks the fact he's actually got towards the top of middle. I was going to say Nothing should have no idea that he's there, but he capitalizes. Great headshot there with the AK and brings it actually a man advantage towards Cloud9. And you can see 3 CTs now actually towards the A side, but 2 of them in spawn. A difficult retake here. Cloud9 are fully committed towards long and will be executing right away.
We say retake, but they haven't quite made it yet because Smiths is going to get there in time. They've got them lined up, and Smiths goes for the repeat. It's all on Skadoodle. And when Scream went back through the mid doors, you'd think there was a chance to go back to B for Cloud9, that they might have slowed things down further, but they walk into a well-read play from G2. And Skadoodle has to get this bomb. It's not beyond the fray of the corner, so he should be able to grab this relatively easily. But with 17 seconds, there's no time to go all the way back to B. He has to commit to this. No smoke as well, and immediately taken down by Smiths.
Excellent play there from Smith, having a lights-out performance so far with the AWP. 4 amazing kills. And the thing is as well, although they had that man disadvantage, G2 had so much intel to play with them, Matt. They pushed B tunnels, they pushed towards the top and middle. Even though Shocks died, he gave the call off. They're all coming towards long. Those flashbangs, look on the screen right now. Everyone's fully blind. Smith's just refacing, finds 4 kills together, and it looks like, I don't know, a little bit lost there. Should have potentially had a smoke towards that spawn area. I wasn't sure what they had left, but there it is, 6-0 in favor of G2. We go into round number 7, and it's just a scout and Skadoodle this time. And looking like it's going to be more of a traditional setup here from G2. Going to be playing Scream towards middle, and RPK in his home towards that pit area.
Nifty smokes. These guys take hours upon hours to line those up. And it's just a simple one, but this is what it allows to be done. Freakazoid walks up catwalk. No one on the opposing side of the mid door is able to see him. And he and Stewie can now work together, as with Skadoodle, who's going to join in behind toward this catwalk position. Again, look at Scream. This is ridiculous. He's walking to B tunnels for the 3rd time.
How is he getting away with this? This is just textbook Counter-Strike. You need to be playing one person in upper B, one person middle, then you can work up towards short. They've got nothing in terms of real estate on the map. Nothing does manage to make his way up towards middle, in fact. Existence going to be coming in for the face here. Here comes the first frag. Who's going to be capitalizing? It's nothing but look, Scream waiting for him.
Nothing's going to go down this time. He won't get lucky twice. Shocks gets Stewie immediately after. And that means that the advantage is turned. Smith's out toward the car, shuts down the catwalk play. And if I'm not mistaken, the bomb was definitely dropped. Did it fall? No, it's still on the catwalk. So chance for Shroud, but with 11 HP against 3. It's a very, very slim chance.
Absolutely. Shroud of 11 HP, stuck towards short. And Molotov'd out, bomb down. This is a really interesting approach from Cloud9. I have no idea. If you're going to be running a default, trying to go for short control, and you're not going very fast, you need to have someone in upper B. Like that call coming in from Scream, it means people can rotate straight away. They don't have to play anyone to that side of the map whatsoever. And you can see how that's paying off for G2 now. 7-0 in their favor. Finally, even with maximum loss bonus, breaking the economy of Cloud9 with no plants. So they can come in with the partial bite, Tech 9s, body armor, and they've got smoke grenades as well. Before they were going for the mid splits with this, looks like that'll potentially be the case once again, as they are sending 4 players towards that side of the map. Double AWP set up this time for the Frenchman, and Existence looking in towards lower B as well. Easy shot for him, takes down Stewie, and works out they're going to be eco as well. So they can just fall back and be a lot more passive at this point. Okay, both AWPs for middle, why not?
Yep, that works. Both firing through the doorway. Smith's again. He's now come to life with the AWP. He's up to 12. Rather, excuse me, he's up to 10 kills. It's 12 for Existence either way. Solid performance. He's going to get up to 12 before this round's over. If he continues at that rate, Skadoodle gets 1 with the Deagle onto Scream on return inside of B site. Smoke's going to give him a bit of movement, but Smith's is staring him down.
So many flashes coming in. Skadoodle does pick up an 8K. It's a lovely shot with the Desert Eagle, but it's not going to be enough here. Existence does get his 2nd of the round. The Orb's doing huge work here. Smiths picks up another 3 kills, and now finally the money coming back into Cloud9's favor, but this is getting a bit scary for them at the moment. There's the shot in the screen from Smiths right now. The Orbs is going absolutely ham. And we'll see what Cloud9 bring to the table so far. As I said, the defaults have been very poor. I think this must be a tactical timeout coming in from Cloud9. And just in time, I'd say as well, this is the kind of point you can't allow G2 to have this sort of confidence. This is the point now where they've got this much cash and they're kind of hitting all these sort of shots. They'll start going even more aggressive. They'll be pushing up towards top and middle, punishing you with that push, upper B push as well. So need to be very careful how they approach this next situation. I feel like they need to just do what they were doing before. Go for that long control, take control of the spawns, try and just take over long, push the CTs back, and then you've got something to work with there. The defaults so far have been horrible. Let's try and just have something, let's go with an objective and start at the beginning of the rounds.
It shows you there's a fundamental flaw when someone like Scream can push 3 times. Now, sure, if they've got information on the offside of the map, there's a chance he can always get away with that. But to do it with the first off, how quickly he's doing it in the rounds.
Yep.
It's not like it's late in the round when they're down men. He's doing it when there's 5 still alive.
Yeah.
He's walking into the tunnels, and he's doing it without fear. He's not even getting flashed, and he's walking in. So that says right there that they've already found a flaw in this system.
That's nuts. That's just not a thing. That's just the only thing. You shouldn't be able to have the confidence to walk into upper B with like nothing at all. Like, that's absolutely crazy. That's a massive problem for Cloud9. I'm not even sure they're aware that's happening right now because
you'd think that the last round when nothing got caught
when he saw that one, yeah. But the fact is, like, he's not really taking too much away from it. He's just getting there and holding up a B most of the time. So that's like a massive problem for them. I think if they just go into a normal default or just have a set piece objective at the start of the round, that's going to pay dividends for them. The fact that when they had Sean, they were just doing like, let's go for the fast B split. They'd actually just run down suicide, flash over, and actually just try those fast-paced tactics and actually try and surprise their teammates like that. They had Sean, mechanical brain in that sense, who could actually just work out what the setups are coming towards him.
And you mentioned default. Right now it seems kind of one-dimensional in that Cloud9 saying the objective is A. Our default is to get Cat. But they're kind of leaving again, also normally a default when you put players in toward mid like that, you at least, at the very least, if you're not going to have someone watching the B tunnels directly, you have them on the spiral staircase just to make sure that if the A play fails, because there's no guarantee it's going to work just because it's your default, then okay, we can still go back to B. We still have the map control to do it. If you can't even keep the map control in your favor, then there's no chance for, as soon as it melts, as soon as it falls apart even slightly on one side, it's done. There's no chance for a backup plan.
Well, the score is currently 8-0. We are back into this game now. We have got that double AWP setup still rolling for G2. Skadoodle back onto the AWP himself. Freakazoid currently on 0 for 8. He's the entry fragger, of course. We need him to be stepping up and opening these situations up for Cloud9. He's going to round number 9 here.
Again, the double up setup looms.
This is better, though. You can see them adjusting to the aggression at the start of the round. They've actually got someone in upper B this time. It's going to be nothing. And this is what they haven't been doing throughout this whole first half. Just hold up, see what's going on, see if any aggression does come in, and see if if Scream does have the audacity to push into upper B this time. Of course, though, this round he doesn't. He's just going to be holding passively.
Freakazoid slowly going to work out to his entry role at long. RPK is playing the off angle. This should give it away that he's not at the corner, that he is toward pit. That bounce of the smoke flash through Freak around the corner, but good Molotov out because RPK times that with the flash. They don't spot it and they end up taking damage from it. He takes down Freakazoid, and look how low Shroud is. He hasn't even spotted the fight yet. He hasn't even faced off against RPK, so it's an easy second kill. And sadly, in all of this, Freakazoid, the entry fragger, was the one left with the bomb.
Stewie does have an opportunity to do something with this, but is taken down by Smiths. The bomb is down towards long as well. CT starting to adjust themselves. Skadoodle making his way to long doors, and nothing, just trying to find a frag here. They're in such a difficult position, 4-on-2, and Scream playing this so patiently as well. You can see nothing is desperate to get anything out of this, but bomb down and 2 players remaining. I'm not really sure what their options are.
I don't know that there are much, to be honest. Again, Scream's got into those tunnels late. It's just a problem.
Did you see how easy that was for RPK, though? Like, they made the decision to go for that long control. 1 flashbang, that's all it took from him, and they were completely shut down. He gets gifted the bomb as well, right by the pit. He holds him off with the smoke grenades and incendiaries, and it's just an absolute mess from that stage once again. It's going to be 9-0. Skadoodle stuck with the AWP in T-spawn, and it's 3 seconds. He wants to die at this point. I would say die now.
Die now, die. It's too late. Now save. You got to run, and that's
playing that.
Oh, my God. This is Cloud9.
You gotta die. Like, you know you're gonna die. Just let them kill you at that stage. You've got 2 seconds on the clock. He's got no. For anyone who's new to the game, if you die after the timer runs out and you haven't planted the bomb, you go into the next round of $0. So you can see Skadoodle now 250. I have no idea why he'd try and stay alive in that situation, but there we go. And we're going to round number 10 with no money whatsoever, even though with the maximum loss bonus of $3,400.
I mean, this is Cloud9, a team with a ton of skill. That's very lost tactically right now. Again, they brought in Irakanji. He's not here. Nothing's gone to calling. Somewhat out of necessity, but also understanding that he's kind of dabbled in it and he wants to flirt with it more, and they have no leadership. They look lost. This looks extremely lost. Pressure on B tunnels, all 5. Where's the mid split? Where's someone to cover off the fact that there's 2 in the site? Smiths is there for the rotation. Existence gets 1 kill. Scream gets close to the smoke. Thank you very much, I'll mow you down. Yes, sure, Eco, they want to explode, but they're just making it so easy for these rotations right now from G2.
Well, these are similar scenes to the battering the VP gave G2 yesterday. It's going to be 10-0, but nothing doing all he can. Actually gets a double kill here. This could be interesting. 2 players remain, but it's going to be nothing to work with in the end, as they do manage to find 3, but no bomb plan once more. They will have cash going into this round. Skadoodle will be struggling a little bit. He will be able to get dropped an AWP, but 0 for 10 for Freakazoid still.
That's your entry fragger.
That's your player needs to be opening up these bomb sites, leading the charge in these long takes, going through middle and taking down the AWPer. So far, he's had literally 0 impact in terms of killing so far. So that needs to be rectified. Round number 11, 10-0 now in favor of G2 Esports. Still with that double AWP setup.
Shroud as well, by the way. 3 kills for him. Talk about skill. Where's your front page now?
Oh, come on.
I know, that was rude, but the point still stands. These guys need to find a way to make an impact. And Smiths is going to look at B tunnels this time. Finally, there's someone waiting, but still he finds the kill.
Bomb
and if Skadoodle said he was going to kill everyone, he better start doing it soon because it's not worked out so far.
So they sorted the bomb, and now they can start pushing and exploiting the situation. RPK left the pit, going to be going to the long doors. Orbs back towards middle. There's actually 3 CTs waiting for them as well. And once again, Cloud9 have no real estate, nothing gathered from the situation. Just going to be trying to work their way up towards short. And Stewie needs to find a pick here. Freakazoid getting ready to be flashed out and smoked out towards middle. He needs to start finding kills as well. This is getting dire.
Stewie at least gets up catwalk this time. There's actually ground to be made there, but they want to take middle. Finally, they're going to try and go for the 2-pronged approach. It's a trade. Freakazoid's on the board. He's got 1 kill immediately back, but it's Shocks to compensate. Back out the window. Existence with the shot into the tunnels, and that echo is too loud. The sound of that AWP will scare and fearfully put Cloud9 in another direction, which is greeted by Smiths. So it's all nothing versus 4.
Well then, there it is, 11-0. All it took was a little bit of aggression from Smiths once again in those upper B tunnels. This walks in, casually faces towards the tunnel and rips the head off Skadoodle. The bomb is dropped as well. And when you get information of the bomb being dropped so early in the round, you can see how the CTs adjust themselves accordingly. And now 4 rounds left. Cloud9, nothing to play with so far. Obviously, maximum loss bonus, not planting the bomb at all. I'm trying to work out, the bomb is it been planted once? No, it actually hasn't. That just goes to show you, if you're a T side,
that's
and
insane,
you haven't
actually.
planted the
That's
bomb
ridiculous,
once,
11 rounds in.
you haven't planted once, you're playing the map wrong. You should be getting the bomb down at least once or twice. Should be some clutch situations here. There we go then, round number 12. They're going to be going for a full-on B rush. Why not? Let's just try and make something happen here.
Existence does get forced out of the site this time, so they've got ground to work with, but no smoke, no Molotov on that window means he can still fire in, and Scream goes through the smoke at the doorway to find Stewie. Once more, the first kill goes to G2. Existence waits. He knows someone's got to cross eventually. Good time flash forces him off of it. That lets nothing get closer to the back of the site. He's got the bomb, and they finally, Henry, maybe you should have said it sooner, will get a plant out of this.
5-4. Bomb has been planted now. We have got RPK coming in from the B tunnels as well. A real chance for Cloud9 to step up. This kill was huge over. Skadoodle capitalizes. A real chance now. They really need to hold on to this situation. The retake coming in.
Shroud has good position behind the box. No one watching tunnels right now, but it's all right. They're going to walk in from the front of the site, and the crossfires are set. But how does Smiths? He gets a collateral. He nearly makes that work.
Unbelievable. There it is. The B rush prevails, Matthew. Going straight in, they thought the defaults aren't working, the long executes are working, let's just rush into B and see what we can do. Finally get something working there. They find the first kill, get the bomb planted as well, and they hold strong, but that's only one to work with so far. Now they're going in with the double orb set up. Scoreline now 11-1. Skadoodle and nothing with the orbs. Just experiment now at this stage. They need to start working out how they can get these last 3. It's going to be a single orb for G2. It's going to be Smiths wielding that weapon. We'll see what they bring to the table this time. Going to be 2 players towards long. Just 1 towards B so far. That's going to be Existence by himself. It looked like another B rush. Why not? It worked before. Let's try it again.
Freak though. Tag down low. Existence, excuse me. This is not NIP. Gets a kill on the entry, and the reset potential is all too real. Skadoodle spots up 1. He's off. He's not hitting the shot. That one was all too easy. Misses again, and things go from bad to worse because Existence has stayed alive in all of this. He's going to find at least 1 more kill. Stewie nearly goes down as well on 50 HP. Good awareness to turn back, but it's a little bit too late. Shocks was always going to be there.
Well, there it is. They tried the B rush again. It worked once. Why can't it work twice? This time it's Existence stepping out massively. A lovely spray through the smoke as well. I think he dinked 3 people in the first like 5 bullets or something. It was pretty nutty. But there it is. That's the full reset now for Cloud9. You only get $1,400 going into your bank accounts after that. And you can see how that's affected them going forward now. PT50s, Glock and Skadoodle. This is another round going in favor of G2. It will be 13-1, Matt. I thought this game was going to be competitive, I have to say. I thought this would be a clash of the 2 underdogs, people who haven't been performing in the tournament. And so far, it's been a very one-sided affair. And here comes that confidence once more. Existence actually getting taken down by Stewie with the PT50. And now Smith's looking to rectify. Scream does find 1, and it brings it to a 4-4.
They're going to try Cat. They haven't been up here in a while. It's unexplored territory, but it works out in the first fray because it's going to be Shroud who manages 2. The pistol versus the AWP at a decent range. And he's got more than that. He's picked up the AK. There we go. Finally he gets alive. Where's your front page now?
It's right there. I'm not sure it's front page worthy, but
Listen,
still.
It's not the meme, Henry. Don't ruin it.
Okay. Anyway, so PT50's in a Glock. Apparently that's all it takes. A lot of aggression coming from G2 there. They find the first kill, pick up an AK, and then just went very quickly up towards short. So far the only rounds that worked for Cloud9 is a B rush, and then there's the fast play up short with PT50s. And so it's still pretty disappointing in terms of how they're actually approaching the gun rounds themselves. But there we go. Round number 15 now comes in. It's actually a difficult situation for G2 in terms of the money. Smiths has the AWP, but 2 pistols. And hopefully Cloud9 can get this one, and we potentially have some sort of a game on our hands.
There's nothing more heartbreaking than feeling like you're just getting rolling, and it's too late, tournament over, and you go home with a bitter taste in your mouth. Especially, like I say, when you just get things rolling. It's completely different if you're out of it all the way through, but
sure.
It's debatable whether it is rolling or not. 2 rounds only. Nothing's going to try, and again, just anchor onto the catwalk. Once more, no one in the B tunnels right now. So their default is 4 on catwalk, 1 at long, who's not even really pressuring the long point. He's waiting for a push through, which means there's no complement to what's going on in this catwalk position. There's not even a drop play. Where's the smokes to jump down and try and overwhelm Smiths, who's basically got a turret set? Finally, there's one on the site. That'll allow the bomb to go down, but Scream gets toward Elevator. He's just limited to the CZ-75. But if you've watched our adverts all weekend, he gets his precision from elsewhere, Henry.
Indeed. Hardware, apparently. Anyway, 3 players from G2 towards the long pit area. In fact, it's going to be a pincer play from CT Spawn in that area. They just don't really have the firepower or the kits to actually do anything with this. Nothing finds the first kill. It's going to be a 4-on-4 now. They've got great positions here. But all of a sudden, 2 kills from G2. It's going to be an equal situation. 2-on-2. Shroud and Skadoodle trying to do what they can for sure.
Well, Smiths still has to get up on this, and the flames. It'll take him down. He couldn't get toward the bomb. He couldn't force the issue. So 12-3 is where we end. Cloud9, in this case, better late than never, or just don't show up at all. I'm not sure, but
12-3 is like
they
we
can
saw it
get
earlier.
a pistol.
We saw it earlier. It can be done. Mouse Sports showed us how.
Mouse Sports did show us how. We've seen, you and I, some interesting comebacks from this scoreline.
Have we?
We have. Let's not get into that.
Is that an innuendo or?
No.
Okay.
I like how you assume it is, and
This
this is where we've gone in the world.
Normally you kind of come with that
But
sort of stuff.
again, fundamental issues, Cloud9. It's the only thing we can really focus on in this. Sure, Smiths plays great. Existence has an excellent start to the half. Finished the half as well in a very good fashion. But Cloud9, I mean, no smoke. 4-up cat, no smokes, no one dropping. No one dropping at all to cover off the rotation.
All bets are off at that stage. Nothing was working for them. They just had to actually...
Well, nothing wasn't working for them as a strat caller,
That's
actually.
a word you shouldn't use when talking about this team.
Yeah.
It seemed like everything they went with in terms of their approach, in terms of defaults and executions, it actually was just breaking down every single time. They actually just went a lot looser in the end. B-rushes, fast plays up towards short, and we have got some replays for you right now.
I called this a collateral, but it's actually, because it showed up so quickly on the obituary, I saw 2. It was actually his teammate he killed.
Yeah, you got really excited about that.
I did. I love collaterals. I call them other things, usually.
What do you call them?
I can't repeat that.
Okay, probably wise. But yeah, 12-3 in favour of G2. They started off so strong indeed. And it was, just to reiterate, B-rush to Cloud9, a P250 round, and that last one was low buy from G2. And it did a decent hold in the end, but I think they only planted the bomb twice out of 15. Yeah. And it was actually a 10-0, I think. They hadn't actually planted the bomb once.
11-0, they hadn't planted it once.
Yeah, so that's just explains to you that they're not really approaching the map correctly if that's the situation. They're actually getting so pushed and oppressed every single round, they're not actually able to get any sort of plan down. And the default as well, Scream pushing into upper B, at the beginning of the first 4 or 5 rounds, undetected.
Out of the first 6 rounds, he was up there 3 times at least.
Yeah,
so that's
crazy.
ridiculous.
That's just like you're playing Counter-Strike wrong at that stage. But let's see. Like I said, 12-3 is not necessarily over. They can still bounce back if they get the pistol.
Yeah, I mean, it did seem like very basic issues were overlooked, and Cloud9 definitely felt pressured in so many situations that they could have avoided. Like you say, get pistol. There is a chance here. I think G2, the French teams, they've been known for being fairly decent on Dust too, so it's not like this is going to be an easy comeback, regardless of how good they play. But well, again, see if they can get this going. It's going to be the fast cat. You like this play in the pistol.
I love this. It's great for getting intel. It's good for finding frags as well. But a lot of teams are catching on to it these days. It could be 4 sets of armor from G2, and Freaky Sword and Shroud poised and ready towards the catwalk area. But you can see G2 is not giving them anything with this. They've got flashbangs and smokes. Existence towards the top of mid, who will flash towards short, presumably take these guys out of the equation. It works perfectly as well. Scream capitalizes and takes down Shroud and gives them the man advantage. They just read it like a book, and not a very good one of that, as they find the first kill and set themselves up in a very nice position so far.
Nothing's just going to wait this out. Doesn't have much to go off of right now. Freak's in an okay position considering they've lost that first man on catwalk. You can try and get some information from this, but stomping like an elephant might not be the most ideal thing to do. I understand he's trying to look down toward lower, but I think Scream from that distance will have heard it and relay the information.
Well then, G2 just waiting to see what the reaction is from the CT so far. They still have got a smoke and a flashbang, so Freakasaur needs to make something happen. He's by himself towards short. Going to be forced to drop off here, surely. There it is. He has spotted 3, but there's still plenty of time. They could go back towards middle, smoke towards spawn, and then go for the B-split. Looks like that's what they will be doing. Nothing is there. Once again, one a next situation. He needs to step up.
Well, step up. Scream will do instead. It's nothing that goes down. Smiths, he finds Stewie on the trade. Freak's going to come through late. Scream's turned around and got back into that. Everything canceled and so well read from G2. They know the situation. They know where typical meta exists. The rotations through the smoke late once you've gone up the ramp and immediately the attention is drawn that direction. Skadoodle has a kit in this, so all right, probably
Is that
not worth it. But listen, I'm trying to justify the situation here
No, it's
because
fine.
1 versus 4.
No, of course. Like it's something to save, I guess. I thought you were trying to build up the anticipation that he could
I
win
was
the round.
not.
Okay, just to make sure. Anyway.
Just because we have a couple of NA players in the server doesn't mean that I have to go full NA as well.
There it is, a very fast and methodical approach from GT there once they found their first kill. I actually love that. Like I said, the 2 players boosting up towards short, it's fine, but you can't stay for that long. You go for the initial play. You can't just sit there at the top and hope no one's ever going to check it. You either push it very aggressively towards the top middle at the start, or you go for the nade towards lower B, look for any early confrontations, and then you fall back. You can't just sit there and hope for the best. Like players like Existence, they're going to read that all day long. One flashbang towards the top middle, screen comes out, wrecks them, and there's the pistol going in their favor. Of course, Cloud9 can't really afford to lose any more rounds here. They will be force buying in the second. 2 scouts, Skadoodle and Stewie picking those up. And it's actually Stewie getting tagged for the doors by Smiths' sniper rifle there. And they've got full long control as well, pushing the CTs back. And what a shot from Scream that was towards the crossover area. Now Skadoodle needs to step up, and he does find one.
Well, Shox will get nothing as he pushes through, so tries to do what Scream did, and it doesn't quite work out in the same favor. As RPK finds Freaka's already worked up middle. So you can try and do the same aggression, but unfortunately G2 is fully aware of this. And things not looking good considering the force buy. This double scout setup now. Will do what it can to suffice. It's going to get caught off. Good shot by Smiths over top of the wall.
Now then, Skadoodle 4-on-1 once again. This has been a very common trend throughout this game. All of the G2 players are very low HP. 1 scout shot will do each one of them, but that's if he can land even 1. Shock should found in there, and there it is. He does take him down. 14 plays 3. The money going to be an absolute tatters here. And now Cloud9 need to make the decision. I think they have to force buy, really. You can't really go 12 rounds in a row against G2 after letting them get to match point here. Just to reiterate, the loser of this game is out of the major, and it's G2 making a very convincing case so far to be winning this one. We'll see what kind of situation and decision Cloud9 decide to approach with. Looks like they'll be going for the full eco map. How do you feel about this? They'll be allowing GT to get to 15 rounds.
I mean, you go for the force buy in the last round. You're trying to shut it down early. You can't. If confidence was there, if they at least made the last round close, maybe you could justify it because you can break the economy early. You got to keep yourself in it. But at this point, what else are you going to do? I mean, it's 6 and 1, half dozen of the other, Henry.
Indeed.
Nothing's been working anyway.
No, there's no decision that's good. I agree. But we'll see what they can do with this. They've got pistols, and so far they have managed to take down Scream. RPK replies, and Smith's doing damage through the door, but it looks like this round's only going one way, and RPK finds his second.
RPK, speaking of, is going to look for more as well through that door. Good flash in from his teammate, gets 2, and turns. It's Smiths that actually finds the third, but it's efficient nonetheless. And Cloud9, North American soil finally, the hopes of North America in so many of the past lands. And again, 2015, the summer, the highlight of them is looking to crumble and not even make it into the nationwide arena.
It's looking that way right now, but they do go into this first gun round now. Skadoodle can't get the AWP. Stewie on a Famus, no kits, all body armor. It's looking pretty bad already as Smiths does have the AWP. He's been very good so far, and he's got the decent spawn towards long as well. He's going to have players waiting for him on the corner as well. Gets the first shot as Freak is ordered to drop. 5 on 4, and now G2 can slow it right down. Once again, that reaction has to come in, and it's going to be nothing by the looks of things. Who may be tempted to push the upper B tunnels, has been punished before. Shock has actually got out towards blue bin as well. One player in there, it's going to be Shroud. Getting back up as well from Skadoodle. These guys really need to find some magic here if they're going to stay alive.
Crossfire set toward long. Shox has gone slowly in toward that dumpster. But a man down already, Cloud9. There's not much options in the way of covering off middle. Nothing's going to play close to Stewie, who's inside of the B site. And it's such a gap in that position. Shox caught slightly on exit from the lurk position where he was playing solo on A. He goes down to 12 HP, but he gets out alive, and the rest of them, the 4 others, going to hit through the tunnel right now. Stewie's already given this up as well. Nothing's going to go in, but he's late, and Existence is already staring down the doorway. Stewie has to come back into this alone, and he's so far away from his 2 remaining teammates. The best he can hope for is that they get there undisrupted by the fact that Shox is still out toward T-spawn, and it looks as though they will. But Skadoodle's caught by Smiths, who gets aggressive on the window. Stewie gets one more, but it's just Shroud and Stu. Flash toward window off the pole. Stewie late to get there because the Molotov's still fully engulfed when he does turn back, but it's got to go. They have to go right now. There's a kit only on Shroud. Smith staring it down. It's going to be RPK with Stewie. It's all on Shroud. 1 versus 4, and G2. They'll do one better than Envy, no less, but it's Cloud9 once more that get completely dismantled in a major.
Pretty disappointing game in the end, Matt, I had to say. I was really looking forward to this one. I thought it was going to go all the way. And the final scoreline is 16-3. Cloud9 not managed to find anything on the second half there. And the first half was very poor indeed. Just a lack of understanding for the basic approach it does too, allowing Screen to push into upper B time and time again. Never got the bomb down for the first 11 rounds. No one actually really lighting the scoreboard up whatsoever. It was Freakazoid, their entry fragger on 0 for 10. Just everything was going wrong. I can't think of one redeeming factor from that whole campaign on Dust 2 from Cloud9.
Yeah, it's pretty abysmal again. Just so much fundamentally that went wrong in the first half, and I imagine Moses with his prediction is regretting that. Never go full Moses, Henry.
Sometimes you have to. But
I've never met one of those times. Yeah, it's not advised, I guess. But, I mean, this just goes, again, nothing's coming to the strat calling position. The qualifier, even that was a little bit shaky for them. It didn't look perfect. We thought, okay, maybe they can go back to the drawing board. They've got some time off between then and the major, which was about a month ago. So 3 weeks in full that they would have been able to boot camp with this. The leadership could have arrived. They brought in Irakanji. He's not here, mind you, but nothing seems to have changed at all.
We're focusing a lot on Cloud9, but we have to point out this G2 look a lot better today compared to what they did yesterday. Smith's going absolutely nuts there. He's joined by Existence as well. Those two had great games against a very lackluster Cloud9, but at least they're hitting the shots and actually making things happen and being very assertive and confident. That's what impressed me about that.
Yeah, and either way, it is another misfortunate tale for Cloud9 in their run of majors, but we are going to be standing by. I do believe, I didn't quite hear, I think it was RPK. It's Puckett and Scream. Okay, so it's going to be Puckett and Scream standing by for the interview.
Thank you, fellas. Here with Scream. G2, staying alive. Talk to me first, though, about yesterday. Was Virtus Pro just on top of their game, or were you guys struggling? What happened?
Well, Virtus Pro was on fire. We let them go into the game, and we didn't go into the game. So when you let Virtus Pro go into the game, you can't really come back from this. So they played really good, and we played really bad, and yeah, it happened.
Now, you knew you were going to be playing Cloud9. You didn't know what maps you were going to be playing, but I saw Existence when we were in that second overtime with Malisports in the first series. He was already loading up Dust 2 replays and going through. How confident were you that you would be playing Dust 2 in this match?
Well, we knew we were going to play Train, Cash, or Dust 2, but it's always random, so we knew we had to work on this map, you know. So we worked on Dust 2, Train, and Cash. We watched how they played, and we just focused on our own game, and we played with.
I read some interviews. It was before the major qualifier, and it still seems to stay the same, that you are the only ones that are going to get in your own way. What have you fixed today, and what are you looking to do with the rest of this tournament?
Well, we knew the most difficult part was the best of 1 games, and we did it. We were happy about it. So we're gonna play best of 3 against Navi or Virtus Pro, and we know it's gonna go well because we are strong as best of 3 and not strong as best of 1. So I can't wait to play.
Well, I know a lot of people are looking to see you at Nationwide once we get down to the Final 8 in that arena. What do you have to say to your fans who are hoping to watch you here on American soil?
Well, I hope as well to play there, and it's a big dream to do that. And thank you for all the support, and without you guys, we wouldn't be there. So thank you guys, and I hope we won't disappoint you in the last game.
G2 staying alive. Congratulations, Scream. Guys, we are going to be catching up on the schedule. We're going to commercial break. When we come back, though, it's time for the qualification matches. Luminosity taking on NIP when we return.
All right, folks, welcome back. We are now going to get into the winners matches here at MLG's Columbus 2016 Counter-Strike Global Offensive Major. First time in North America, $1 million on the line. And again, as I said, these are the winner bracket matches. So little different, little less stress for everybody because no one's going home in the next 4 matches. They will all fall down to play one more match if they lose in that lower bracket. That will be their send-home possibility. So, again, they can breathe a little easier. They all 1-0'd yesterday, got into this upper bracket. This time I'm joined up. Richard Lewis is back. We got Moses here, and this time Fifth Lauren.
Barely here.
Now, before...
We don't have to touch on this.
No,
we don't have to go to this.
No. I insist.
I'm the captain now.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're trying to catch up with a lot of time. That 5 overtime really kind of put us behind schedule. So
we got the schedule back.
So yeah. Thank you G2. Thank you G2. So you didn't see a post game on that last match.
Thank God.
And of course, the biggest part of that post match would have been roasting Moses for his choice of Cloud9. So consider yourself duly roasted. So let's get into it. NiP versus Luminosity again. NiP having to play with Threat, I think, is the storyline here.
Yep.
Vetoes are going to start right away. Moses, I'm going to have you kind of walk us through the vetoes as you kind of talk to us about what you think about this matchup.
This is going to be Luminosity is such a tactical team, and this is one of those battles. Like even against Flipside, it would have been really cool to see NIP and Flipside if Threat was being the coach because they have become a little bit more tactical. I got to imagine that NiP is going to ban Overpass. That's such a strong map for Luminosity, one of the best teams in the world on it. And then obviously Cache is a good map for NIP. So we're going to get random over to Mirage, and this is just a sick map for LG. And this is a map where it's going to be tough, I think, especially with a stand-in. With Threat, not a stand-in, but Threat playing in place of Pit, obviously, this is going to put a big damper on what they can do across the map on Mirage. I think this is like really dark map for NIP in this match.
Yeah, and if you remember, they actually banned it yesterday. They didn't want to play Mirage. So yeah, this is very interesting that the randometer's done it to them. I think the vetoes are pretty much as expected. Luminosity, almost like a respect ban there, taking the cash out of the equation.
Well, they're smart, right? Because Luminosity know that they don't have their core 5, so why even pick maps that will give NIP some sort of an edge?
Exactly.
And just a reminder, Luminosity did play Mirage yesterday against Mouse Sports, beat them 16-13 on the map.
And it's a shame in a way because had NIP had their full strength team, this could have been a real back and forth kind of game because in the European ESL Pro League, I don't think they've lost on Mirage this season, and of course they're at the top of the league, 14-2. So I mean, they were in a good spot coming into the major NIP. I had them pinned as the dark horses, and of course the Pit visa issues has meant that I think this is looking very, very good for Luminosity because Mirage is the map where Luminosity really sort of the old Luminosity rose to prominence on it.
Yeah, well, and also one of the strengths of Luminosity is, when they have an early pick in the mid rounds, they're so good at peeling apart defenses or peeling apart, their opponent's team, in those 3-on-3 situations when there's about 50 seconds left in the clock. And one of the things that NiP, that's where they're going to miss Threat the most is that presence standing behind him who's able to have that kind of bird's eye view of everything. Now that he's doing that as a player inside the server, he's not going to be able to just glance around and see the screens of all the different players. So I actually think that's going to be very scary. They're going to have a lot of composure in those situations in areas where they're not going to be used to the kind of situation they're putting with Threat sitting down with them instead of behind them.
And your thoughts, Robin?
No, I think this is going to be very difficult for NIP, but this is also a map that they like to play. It's probably one of the better maps, especially with the new player, with Threat. And I think Mirage is also a map where having that stand-in won't really matter as much, especially on the seat side, because it's very unopen places, where it's like he doesn't really have to use his aim too much. You have Force, which was obviously he will obviously pick up the op, and then you have Threat, just going to be the nuisance, essentially helping get right out, maybe on the A-bomb side, or even putting in mid, because mid is one of those places where, we don't want to let him have it, but if we have to, we can just work around that. It's going to be exciting. I still see Luminosity winning this, even with NIP's core 5. I would have still said Luminosity because Luminosity right now I think is one of the greatest teams that we have at the moment.
Yep.
So definitely.
And again, much like you said, everyone is almost kind of picking, or a lot of folks are picking Luminosity to get all the way to the final, probably playing a Fnatic, and that is before NiP has to replace and bring Threat in. Your final thoughts on it?
Well, just that, as I said, it is a shame, but it is what it is. NIP will give a decent account of themselves, but Luminosity have got this one in the bag for me. I just can't see it any other way.
Yeah, I'm sticking there as well. The one bright spot for NIP is Luminosity on the T sides have actually struggled a little bit, even on this map. You know, even maps like Inferno. But this is back. You know, this is through the Pro League matches they played recently online against North American teams here. I imagine they'll be a little bit more polished. But that is the one bright spot that NIP can hope for.
All right, well, you guys can see the fly-through is happening. Bringing you the action is going to be Anders and Semler. It's going to be, again, Ninjas in Pajamas taking on Luminosity. Again, no one's going home yet, but again, no one wants to drop to that lower bracket and have those do-or-die matches. Anders and Semler, it is all yours.
Thank you very much, Sir Scoots. And yes, I'm here with Semler, and we're going to be heading into an incredible match, I think, between NIP and Luminosity on Mirage as well. What do you think, Semler? Are you excited?
Oh yeah, man. I've had an emotional roller coaster over the past 2 matches. I watched Envy get destroyed as I watched G2 just completely pummel North America into the ground. It's been a wild day for the Frenchies, but at least we still have one team in the running. Now we get to see, you know, Luminosity, the Brazilian hope. Are they going to be able to pull it off?
Yeah, well, we're going to find out just about any second now. He's already live with the pistol round, and we do have Forrest sneaking into middle behind that smoke. He's going to be very quick and looking for the fight. He's alone while the rest of the team is over by the B side of the map. One person sneaking underpass as well, so a little bit of mid-control for NIP, but it's still a bit sketchy. Get right here on his own with the Tech 9 armor as well. That's a lot to give up if he somehow gets caught off guard here. They got to be a bit careful.
Yeah, no utility left here for NIP either to actually work with, so it's going to be just straight up work. I mean, they have to go for the fights, and already a trade frag happening on the B site. They do manage to get the bomb down as well, NIP, so Freiburg gets that plant. Exist is there to watch his back, but Fallen, FNX, and Cold, they've already rotated onto the scene, so the pressure, it's going to be hot here for NIP to hold this.
Freiburg looking to do a bit of damage, but Fallen landing one more kill. It's going to put it into a 3-on-4. We're going to see if they are going to be able to hold on here while the bomb is ticking away. Luminosity taking quite a while right now to get into position. They don't currently have a kid picked up. You've got to pick up tacos at some point. FNX going down. Freiburg to full fur is next in line. Now it's all on Get right here. 1-on-2. He's got the Tech 9 armor. This is the perfect combination. He goes for one, goes for a second. Oh, he's going to get shot down by Fallen, but there is no kid. He can't find it either in NIP. They're going to come away with a pistol round. Simply not enough time.
Whoa, boy, and Freiburg going vamos right now. A little bit of the smack talk coming out from NIP. I mean, they're showing the hype. This is a big match for them, obviously. Getting that first seed would be huge going into the playoff brackets. But, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on them right now. The analyst has touched on it. Pyth is not here. Threat has to step in. And so NIP, they're a little shaky right now. They're not feeling it.
Even if Pyth was here, I would have picked Luminosity. Even if NIP were Fnatic, I would have picked Luminosity. I've drank all the Luminosity Kool-Aid at this point. I'm down.
Oh wow, dude.
I'm ready.
You know, you get some good Kool-Aid too out here in NA. You know,
that's
good stuff.
I'm president of the NIP fan club, you know, so I'm saying.
How many fan clubs are you president of? Markeloff fan club, NIP fan club.
Well, Markeloff fan club only has Lurpus and myself as a member, so
I know the diehard.
That's a really small group at this point here. But yes, I'm a proud member of the Markeloff fan club as well. Forrest going to be going down Taco with a really clever position there. You could see that Forrest had his focus down at the van instead. Wasn't really ready for that one. So pretty good kill with the C-set 75. Good as it ever was, it seems, if you know how to use it.
Yeah, Taco, he's been stepping up individually over the past couple months as well. There have been some changes as far as positioning is concerned for Luminosity, and whatever they did, it's actually worked wonderfully for Taco because his individual level is definitely spiked. They can count on him to get kills now, where it used to be a little shaky, where he used to be more of like the entry frag.
I do also want to say something. I mean, you said I'm president of multiple fan clubs, but I mean, you've got the Swedes, the French, and the Americans.
That's right, man.
You're covered either way, man.
Zato was trying to talk some smack yesterday. I'm just like, I never lose. Whoever wins, I come out ahead. And FNX, same thing right there. He just annihilates Get Right. Great flashes to the pit, and the second kill comes in here for FNX. Make that a third as well. Takes out Exist. What a huge round from Luminosity. Not losing a single player. And four rifles saved for Luminosity as well.
What I hope you guys at home could hear them screaming. That's absolutely amazing. There's some real energy in this match within the first 2 rounds. Here's what's really mad. FNX, when he gets this first kill, just check this out. Assuming the replay is going to be working here. FNX goes in and gets the first kill. That's it, right? Then NIP decide, well, let's try and set up for, for some grenades anyway. You see Freiburg turning around, probably to put in a smoke or something like that. I mean, it seems like they should be focusing all the time on that entry instead. That was a bit weird. Now that means NIP are a little bit behind here, but they got pistol and armor. They do get the first kill on Fur. This is turning into a sort of one of those matches that's sort of real brawl where you just keep trading around again and again.
Yeah, exactly, and that's, I mean, Fur going to top mid, it can be questionable because NIP, they go for the force buy. Do you really want to get close range versus Tech 9s? I mean, that's exactly what NIP are crossing their fingers hoping you're going to do, but at the same time, Luminosity, they're trying to break NIP's confidence right now. They just got rocked in the second round, and Fur, he was looking to just, you know, tomb them, put them 6 feet under, and take control of the match from there on out. NIP, they kind of checked that, so now it's going to have to slow down a little bit, and it's going to come down to the timings here, and Fallen will fall to Get Right, who picked up that AK that was donated so kindly by Fur.
Got to be careful. FNX dropping low. Cold is also down to half HP. So they can't really afford to give up anything more to NIP right now. What's really scary is that the A bomb side is also under the control of NIP right now. Except for one person, CT spawn. Taco going to go down, and that was all the way over at B, but you still got to worry. And there's FNX to follow Freiburg. That's when Forrest helping out to get that kill there. So Cold all alone in the 1-on-4. He's going to drop to Freiburg, who picks up a triple kill in the round with that Tech 9. And that's going to make it NIP 2-1, and Luminosity, they are going to counter force up. Now, it is so much easier being on the T side and calling the force than it is being on the CT side. If Luminosity lose this round, they're going to be so far behind in this game.
Oh, man, we're getting a taste of an old meta here. And there's, you know, Envy, they're looking back and, you know, they got that tear rolling down their cheek. If only people would play like this with us. If only they'd go into the force fight with us when we used to excel in these sorts of situations. Now, yeah, Luminosity, they're willing to go toe-to-toe.
If only we would do rounds like this and actually win them. I mean, that used to be what they would do.
Used to be the bread and butter, right?
Oh. A little bit of a tag there. Got to be lucky that it wasn't an AK, but Forrest going to be very aggressive and hungry. And Taco won the fight over there first time around. This time it's Forrest's turn. I've got to say, Forrest and Get Right, though, they have been playing out of their mind in this tournament so far.
Forrest's individual level has definitely been looking very good. Since Threat joined up, it seems like he's had more leeway. He's definitely found himself. And Forrest has always been that kind of player. He's one of those legendary sorts in video gaming in general who can just like put down a game, come back 6 months later, still play at a top level. He never really takes the hit, but when he decides to actually start getting that work in there, dedicating himself, that's when we start to see, you know, that god tier Forrest come back to the fore. And well, I mean, it's been a little shaky, but we can see if he's going to be able to carry NIP through today because they're going to need it against Luminosity. FNX decides to step in, and he stops that push cold. Get Right steps in, and FNX with 2 kills. He's roasting right now, though, and Exist will pick him off. He has Mercy. Exist with a double entry, and Threat is there to get the drop on Fur. And just like that NIP, they're going to put a halt to things here for Luminosity.
That was a very, very well orchestrated push coming out of NIP. That was very restrained. Nobody sort of got really panicked. And obviously, that Molotov that landed on FNX was beautiful. So now, Cold hiding at the edge, and he has got a kit. I don't think NIP are going to let this one go, but we've seen crazier things before. Cold not waiting for the time to run out, going to go and pick up the kill on one. Threat going to go down as well. Gold Zero now in a one-on-one against Exist. He's got the time for it. Running behind the crate here. Exist has to run straight away. There's a lot of time to run, and Exist, he's trying to position himself closer. There's going to be the straight defuse. Exist waiting on the side. Cold, he's going to get a shot. He actually gets it. He'll have enough time. What a clutch coming out. And Cold Zero equalizing the scoreline for 2-2. That's a 1-on-3 against NIP, surviving on 1 health.
And you just have some players who are able to excel no matter the gun that they have. You give them a toothpick, they're going to get something done with it. They'll stick it in somebody's eye. This time around, it's Cold. He steps up long range with the CZ, gets the pick, and then steps up close to Threat and just catches him out completely. The CZ, man, it's just so good. And in the hands of certain players like Flusha, like Cold, they always just seem to get something out of it.
Right, so I mean, this is just very, very well done, isn't it? You thought maybe he'd go for the full defuse, and Exist is actually under a tremendous amount of pressure in that position because if you run in, well, you risk what just happened. You know, you could get killed. If you don't actually run in straight away, then you can't make it in time. The running distance from behind that box all the way to stop the defuse is actually some distance. Well, there's no slowing down. It's going to keep going here. Get Right and Forrest opening up on Cold and Taco. And this B-bomb side is a lot more difficult to retake than A ever was. So we'll see if Luminosity can bring it back here.
There's a lot of pressure on them right now. They only have the single kit picked up on Fur right now. He's got the MP9, and he's got the utility. The 2 rifles kind of stuck down here in kitchen right now behind the smoke. So NIP buying a lot of time with the use of good nades here. But the backstab is going to be coming in from Fur, and it just looks like Luminosity, they don't want to have anything to do with this. They've realized, well, you know, if we actually hold on to these 3 weapons, we can go for another force in the next round. So the best that we just back off, maybe cross our fingers and hope that we get lucky with an exit. But the main thing here is to keep these players alive. They need to keep these rifles still in the fight for the next round. Still, very quick. I mean, even with NIP actually taking the doubled HE to the face, that was like Forrest taking point. I mean, they just got naded down so hard right at the beginning. They were just so quick. I think that turn of pace, that change of speed coming in from NIP caught Luminosity off guard somewhat there on the B site.
And you got to wonder as well if you know, maybe not quite yet, but in time, is Taco's confidence going to be shook a little bit by the fact that Forest seems to be having some pretty good battle against him over there? To see set 75 being the exception, but you know, going into the sort of the middle of this game, you've got to be careful. If you keep losing the same battle, the same duel over and over again, you start to take it a little bit personally almost. And I think Taco has shown himself to be a very strong player, but he's also a young player.
It'll mess with your head. It definitely will. I mean, again, we saw what Cold was capable of with the CZ. He's going to be holding close to short. Get right. Looks like he wants to try and apply some pressure here. He's got the incendiaries to try and clear out that angle on short. Freiberg sets up the flash. Get right comes in. Good teamwork being shown here by NIP. Very systematic and thorough play. But Get Right, as that smoke clears, Fallen just goes for the haze spray. He just throws it out there, and he finally manages to take out Get Right. Get Right not able to react in time, and Freiberg not in position to get the refrag means that there's a pretty decent situation here. Although, as I say that, Exist does manage to find Fallen from underpass.
I need to go back and watch them of how many of these smokes were nips in the middle, because it almost looked like they had sort of compartmentalized the whole middle of the map and were moving in between smokes to try and see if they could find the right angle. That's pretty incredible, but Cold Zero coming through just at the perfect time. Forest actually killing Exist, because that was the Molotov that was put down earlier, but obviously Cold doing the majority of the damage there. Freiberg does spot one person, and NIP still have time, 45 seconds, with the bomb at top middle right now. Trying to see if they can make their way in, and Cold Zero's flashed, actually. They couldn't possibly have gone any better for NIP there. Maybe a little bit of dumb timing or dumb luck there. For Taco looking to see if he can make it back, and this should be an easy fight. He's going to win it against Freiberg, and that gives them the lead with only 25 seconds here for NIP, but they can walk right into B right now, and maybe they're realizing that.
It's a 3v2. They have the firepower. They still have a couple of nades to work with as well. Threat, he's hightailing it, and he does manage to make a pass. Taco gets the information, though, and the rotation is already coming out here from Luminosity. So all he has to do now is let that bomb go down, exactly, get planted. Now they have all the time in the world here, Luminosity, to wait for NIP to try and, well, make a play. So that's going to be the big thing here. NIP, they need to find a kill on Luminosity to bring this back to a 2-on-2 and to give them a chance to win this round. And Threat, he's kind of out in the open right now. Taco, he's still kind of shoulder peeking on short, but that buys time for Fur to work his way up through B apartments, and it's all on Forest now from bench. He's holding the line. First steps out, but they peek them all together. Very well done there by Luminosity, working together as a team.
Yeah, smooth retake coming into it. And again, we just keep going back and forth and back and forth. This is crazy. 3-3. Now, you could arrive at a 3-3 scoreline, you know, obviously with one team winning the pistol and then 2 rounds, and the other team sort of bringing some rounds back. But they're just trading back and forth right now, and it does some really weird things to the economy, especially on the CT side. Terrorists usually have a little bit of an easier time sort of handling it, especially if they get bomb plants and everything else. So right now, it's really important for Luminosity to start stringing rounds together. The most they have on anyone is 2,500 on Taco. They have bought an AWP, so that's a good sign, but they need to keep going here. They can't afford to let nip back in the game.
Well, NIP, at least right now, once again, they're applying some pressure in mid. They get that short smoke down. So that's going to keep Luminosity guessing a little bit. Again, Cold is going to choose to get up onto short. So just to have some eyes and ears here in mid, because Fur's holding fairly passively, and there's nobody in window, there's nobody in connector immediately. So 3 players here committed for NIP, and it's looking like it's going to be a split onto A. If they can find the entry here, this would be pretty big. But Fur, he's just waiting to see if there's going to be a boost up in the window. If he holds this spot, he might get lucky and actually catch out Exist eventually.
Well, either him or Cold Zero, who's obviously playing on the other side. They're trying to come through. They're going to execute on Fur. He goes down. Cold is going to be dropped. The Squall falling. They go down. FNX is next. And it's a perfect execute into that A bomb site. NIP only losing Forest in this battle, and Exist picking up a double kill. And that shows you a little bit of what happens when you give up so much mid control, which Luminosity did. They even had the AWP, which normally if you have the AWP, you have sort of an advantage getting mid control. Now NIP are in prime position to be sort of running away with a large part of this first half. This is a really, really big round.
Not only Threat picking up here, but Exist, that's the one detail that I really like to see, is that they're adapting to the favored positions here that Luminosity have shown. Cold, you know, once again playing ladder room. Exist not caught off guard by that. He instantly checks it to make sure that nobody can lurk up there and get a free kill. And guess what? He catches out Cold. So that's Nip actually adapting to what they're learning here. They're learning about Luminosity's defense, and they're learning how to take advantage of it. So Get Right here to open up things on Fallen. Again, at Luminosity, they want to challenge in mid. This is going to be a hard eco round out of them. Because that reset, I mean, that was brutal for them. They're down to 1,400 for the most part. And now Freiberg, he's kind of been left out to dry, so he will get run in on. Exist is going to be able to pick up the 1 kill, but well, 2. But there we go. That's what we were waiting for. Freiberg getting cornered out like that means there's an AK on the field, and one-shot headshot with that AK, that gets the job done.
Well, they weren't expecting Forest to be in the B or in the A bomb site so soon, but otherwise I was a bit worried that Nip would keep fighting in the middle, because once you realize there's like 3 or 4 people in the middle, just let the rest of the team go and put the bomb down somewhere. Don't I really have to fight them, but at least they managed to do some damage. Luminosity, kill 2 members of NIP, and if FNX can make it out with this AK, that will help some, but they're still in a bit of a tricky position. I do want to explain to anyone who's a new viewer, obviously, the viewership today has already been incredible, so we have to assume that there are a couple of people tuning in who don't really know everything about the game. The way the economic system works is if you lose consecutive rounds, you build up a round loss bonus, and it goes all the way to 3,400 if you lose 5 in a row, and then it sort of stops. It doesn't go infinitely. But that means the game sort of, in a way, helps you to break a losing streak like that, which is why it's so weird when they keep trading rounds. Especially on the CT side, because you need to buy more equipment, new defuse kits, your rifles are also generally a bit more expensive.
You gotta pay taxes.
Yeah, you gotta pay taxes and all that stuff. You got to make sure that you win consecutive rounds. If you cannot do that on the CT side, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble. You won't be able to buy the rifles. You won't be able to buy the grenades, and that's what we're seeing on Luminosity. Even here, when they have, an alright buy going into it, we're missing at least a couple of smokes. We're missing a lot of Molotovs. Only one person has a defuse kit. These are all things that could be very important at the end of a round. So we'll see if that's going to be a factor here in the 9th round. So the score is currently 5-3, favoring NIP.
Yeah, they're going to be feeling very good about this, Ninjas. I mean, obviously they want to just completely crush this T side, but getting up to 5 rounds early on here is going to be a bit of a boost to their confidence going forward. It's up to Luminosity now to shut things down, and Cold is going to have the AWP, not Fallen. So interesting change up here for Luminosity. You really do expect Fallen to be the primary opper. Not to say that Cold isn't competent with the sniper rifle, but Fallen, he just hits these highs, man. He hits these crazy shots in these rounds that make the difference for Luminosity.
Especially when they're far behind, it seems. Whenever they really struggle, I always try and look to Fallen, because he seems to be the guy to sort of pull them out of whatever slump they're in. The bomb is all the way back in T-spawn, Ryan. That should tell you already that NIP are not looking to sort of, take a bomb site right now or anything like that. And you can see how far Get Right is. They're just waiting for Luminosity to make any kind of mistake right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they might try and sort of throw some grenades in, because that could also trigger Luminosity into moving around. You hear a smoke going down or a flashbang somewhere. And with Get Right so far into the map, it'd be nice if they could force a rotation somewhere. But that Molotov is very telling. Fur's on point here, and he's going to get the kill. FNX picking up 2 as well. Very, very well handled by Luminosity. Not really any doubt in their mind this was what was coming.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that Cold didn't have more of an impact there with the AWP on short, considering he's looking into connector. Get Right, Exist, they have to step into him. He misses a shot there onto Exist, and Exist, he knows that there's players around Pit, but he's going to get taken out eventually there by Fallen. And now Fallen, he gets donated an AWP. Thank you, Forrest. That's going to work out perftly for him, seeing as how it would have been a bit of a stretch for them to buy one on their own.
See, my thinking was that because they got Get Right so far in, that maybe what they would try and do is smoke some of the positions in A-bomb site.
Yeah.
Just use like 2 smokes to see if they could get them in there. And then if they do that, maybe someone from Luminosity starts rotating around. Maybe Fur, who's in that corner that actually kills Get Right, maybe he decides to sort of go and check what's going on the ramp or anything like that. It feels like Get Right was the one person who really shouldn't be giving up his position at that point in time.
He should be your lurk guy,
yeah,
basically.
Exactly.
And he didn't even have a smoke to block off short either. So as soon as he shows himself, the B defense can start rotating in to try and take advantage of that. So I was definitely a little worried as well. I mean, for now, NIP, they still should be feeling pretty decent about things. They do have enough money to get a buy, 2 rifles, an AWP, a couple of Tech 9s. Pretty light on the nades, though. And Luminosity, they were definitely expecting some kind of aggression to come out, or perhaps like a fast A execute kind of strategy to come out of NIP, because they took those anti-smoke round kind of positions on that A site close to Pit in Sandwich, and only the one man holding a connector. That's Cold.
Selma, you said you wanted Fallen to pick up the AWP, and they have done that. So now there's actually a double up setup that's running in here. Fur and FNX starting off very well indeed. Finally Exist with 1 reapply, but they need a lot more. Even if they lose this round, which it seems like they will, they need more kills. And Forrest in charge of doing just that. A fantastic double kill. AWP still in hand, and we've been saying he's been playing well. And if it truly is the Forest of old, then Luminosity have got to be scared now. These are some of the rounds that Forest could really win, and I would say still I think him and Get Right and just a few other people are sort of in a class of their own like that. So we're going to see if it's going to be working out. 35 seconds here, running all the way to top mid. He can't expect someone to be there. He won't, and Taco will take him out. So a really good call on Taco, actually. Here's the power of this top mid position. The one fear that Taco has to have when he goes up there is that Forrest has already made it through into the B bomb side. If that happens, then he will essentially be giving false information to his teammate. He'll say, well, he hasn't come past here yet. I think he might still be in T-spawn. But if he is there and he sees it, he can see all the way into the apartments and he'll know. So even if he can't get the kill, he'll know that Forrest is crossed and that's it. That's all he needs.
Oh, it's a surprising decision for Forrest to throw that smoke as well, because given Taco's position there, and he sees that smoke go down, he actually knows exactly where Forrest is. He's like, oh, well, okay.
Too.
I know the angle that you need to throw this smoke from, so, right. Should be fairly clean cut for him. He knows he's got him boxed in a T-spawn. I mean, still, Forrest did the best that he could in a 1v2. Not going to be able to pull off that clutch this time. Cold, however, he doesn't spot exist, getting up in the window, but Fallen holds his own. Point blank with the P250. He stays alive and goes out for more. AWP manages to pick off Forrest. That's going to leave Threat, Freiberg, and Get Right as the last 3 alive here for NIP on this eco round. And once again, NIP really just putting a lot of focus on mid, but that's about to cost them. Fur with the backstab. Threat trying to do the best that he can, but yeah, just not going to pan out. Fur doing quite a bit of damage there with the MP9.
Yeah, I feel like we've had a lot of sort of submachine gun kills from Luminosity. Even when NIP has been having rifles, they've been picking up that MP9. So the first economy is looking pretty good. So is Tacos, so both of them around 5,000 or 6,000. NIP on the other hand, they spent everything in this one round here to try and make this work. Now the scoreline is 6-5 favoring Luminosity right now, but that's not so bad. I mean, NIP, I think if they can get past 6 rounds, I think 6 rounds we have an even game. If they get past that, then they're looking really good.
I'm really starting to wonder when NIP are going to decide to start rotating towards that B site. And this is also the question that Luminosity are asking themselves. When should they try and, cheat a little bit and get a couple of players over there? And right now, I mean, they have a very clever boost, one that we very rarely see. Look at this angle. Boosted in from underpass. Cold able to pick off Freiberg. And then easy entry there. And that's, I mean, this is horrendous here for NIP. They've lost Threat now as well. Cold is going to be able to rotate in, put the pressure. Get Right trying to bring it back. He does take out Taco. And they do have the 3 players on the A side here, NIP. And the kill through the smoke from Exist. There's the difference maker.
Yeah, that's a huge kill, and Cold Zero maybe with a mistake, because he could see the tracers there. Fallen missing a shot. You can't do that. Oh, he gets the kill anyway on Forrest. That's going to bring it back into a 2-on-2 now. But they need to retake this, and Fallen is on 20 health. This is definitely not going to be easy. One grenade going out there, just FNX trying to buy some space from up in apartments there, and it forces Get Right out into the open. Fallen going to pick up the kill. That smoke really working out. Exist up. Oh, he's going to go down as well. FNX picking up the shot. And that's going to be a defuse happening from Fallen. That one smoke forces Get Right out. Fallen's in CT spawn waiting for it. That's some very good improvised teamwork coming out of Luminosity, giving them a 7th round. And NIP, because of the bomb plant, and this is important, again, just another detail for any new viewers, anything like that, if you put the bomb down, even if you lose the round and everyone dies, your team, everyone on the team still gets $800. And that's exactly enough for them to make a buy this time. Without the $800, this would have been either a really, really mad Tech-9 foursome, or it would have been an eco. So the bomb plant here makes a huge difference for NIP.
It's just, I mean, it allows them to get full rifles and a couple of nades to go with them. And again, NIP going to be focusing on that mid control. There's the short smoke going down that allows them to get Freiberg behind the box, and Fallen, he's just waiting. And he even expects some kind of play to come in out here from NIP. You can take that risky play sometimes, decide to push through that smoke onto short, and Fallen, he's getting into position to counter that. And he's even worried about the boost, considering now they've lost their eyes on mid. It's all on FNX now. He's trying to hold, but he's just like waiting basically for a flash, for a nade, something to give it away, because he's got Fallen here to call for it as well.
Molotov is perfect. It actually sort of, well, I mean, they could have kept looking at FNX, but they had to get out of the way, and he peeks just as they're moving. So very good stuff indeed. Fallen going to get that kill on Exist. Maybe a little bit too many times boosted into window, and they've seen it coming by now, and Threat turning his back. I think he thought maybe there would be someone on short. That wasn't going to be the case. Forrest picking up 1 kill. They might get another bomb plant in here, NIP, which would be helpful. He legs Get Right in. If he had gone down, that would have been the bomb out of the round, essentially. 2-on-4, and NIP should not be winning this round. And in a 1-on-4 for Forrest, it looks like they definitely won't either. He's just trapped in this corner, AK in hand. It's going to be Cold Zero to take him out. And Luminosity finally starting to string rounds together. This is going to be the 5th round in a row that the Brazilian team has won.
And this is all off of adjustments that they're making to their defense. They're realizing NIP keep going mid. I mean, they take the risk. They know that there's a little bit of extra pressure on NIP in that last round because they had ecoed before it, so then they're going to go for the buy. They decide to take a risk, Luminosity, with that boost with Cold, and that's an unorthodox boost. We very, very rarely see that one. It's a little risky because if they come in, if Exist, he keeps going underpass. If Exist wins the duel versus the guy who's boosting up Cold, then Cold dies, and you can lose 2 guys just like that for Luminosity, but the risk pays off. Last round, they give up mid and just decide to play for peaks. FNX holding a clever spot in connector. Fallen there to watch his back. It's just nothing really working out for NIP. They keep getting hard countered now that Luminosity have had some time to figure out what their tendencies are on this T side.
Look at these grenades from NIP. They're so good. There's going to be a quick play all the way up, catwalk, right into Cold Sierra. And if GetRight could have won that fight, you bet you that would have triggered the rest of the push into B. They're going to try anyway here, and Taco will lose the fight once again, but Cold Sierra is absolutely unstoppable, getting 3 kills in the half before the round finally goes down. Fallen going to be taking care of Freiburg, and now it's all on threat. The coach and Fallen will stop him dead in his tracks, 9-5, and moving into the 15th round here. That is a really, really good execute. You see how Fallen with the open window, he can't actually get the AWP shots off. It has to be Cold Zero to take out GetRight, but he's allowed to run all the way in there. And if Cold goes down, that B bomb site is going to fall within seconds.
Yeah, because then Taco's basically all by his lonesome.
Yeah.
The fact that Cold holds on this long just allows for the rotation to come into Kitchen. That makes all the difference. This is 6 rounds in a row now for Luminosity, 9-5 the score, and Luminosity, I mean, they're looking fantastic. Now that they have the economy rolling, they have the options as to who gets the AWP. They have all the nades as well. It's making a world of difference here. They've got that confidence as well. I mean, this is the 15th round, and of course NIP are going to go for the force buy. It's the last round of the first half here. And, you know, after going to B the last round, they're like, okay, let's go back to A. Hope we get lucky. And, well, catching off Fur like that to start, it's not a bad start.
Bomb still very, very far back. And yes, you're absolutely right. When you're on the T side, you really do want to trade. Now, 5 rounds, I think, is still workable, but it's getting a bit scary for NIP, especially considering how everything started out. You know, you'd want more than 5 rounds here. 6, and I think we've got a very, very even game in our hands. But that kill that just came in, it's going to be a little bit tricky. FNX in good position, taking 1, going for a second. They're beautiful headshots, and it's going to be a quad kill for FNX. He's looking for 1 more here to get the ace to close out the half, and that's not a bad way to finish either. Exist looking for a bit of an opening here. He's got the M4A1, so maybe just giving him a bit of a chance to kill someone. Not just yet.
Just give it to him. Just give it to him.
Spraying through it.
Oh, Fallen, come on.
Steals the ace. Still 10-5 with Luminosity winning the last 7 rounds in a row here. That's very, very impressive.
No, that was a super sick half, and I mean, this is all about the economy. Once they get into that slugging fest, basically, that was happening at the beginning of this half, I mean, NIP definitely not expecting FNX to come back and pressure Palace again. So once they lost Palace control and Fur got picked off, they decided to come back into it with FNX. He decides to take the risk for Luminosity, and he has to step up. He has to get control back in the situation because NIP are favored in a 4-on-4 situation. They go onto the site, and they can definitely overwhelm them. So what happens is FNX is like, okay, I'll go back into Palace and see if they, you know, decide to rotate somebody back in here. Gets the kill there, and then posts up right in front of Pit. I mean, it's just super sick, aggressive, confident kind of CT play where it's just like, actually, if I die, this could be a problem for my team. But I'm not going to die, Anders. I'm going to get both of the headshots.
And it's also
I'm going to get a quad kill.
I mean, yeah, what a way to finish. He's also finished with 21 kills, by the way, top fracking, obviously. What's so freaky as well is that that's such an off angle to be holding on the ramp when they come out. The second 2 kills he gets, you can't really expect that. That's not an angle you normally check. You know, once your fear walking around that corner is someone going to be up in the boxes, and then your second priority is always going to be if someone's sort of straight right if they're close to you. So he's just in the middle of everything, and that makes it really hard to predict. You're not sort of mentally going to be prepared. Yeah, so it's a good use of off angles for FNX, and it lands him a really, really important quad kill.
You got to give it to FNX as well, man. Right now he's just locking things down. You're right. Yeah. I mean, Fallen, he didn't have his op for quite a bit, obviously, at the beginning of the half, so not really able to get up and rolling himself, but 14-4-5 is a respectable scoreline, along with Cold, 14-4-9. I mean, it's not like Fur and Taco, you know, they've been letting their team down. It's just that the other, you know, there's not a whole lot to go around. FNX is kind of hogging it all here. The top 3 right now, they're just getting all the kills.
This is obviously a really frustrating match from Taco's point of view because he's in B, and the only action he sees is when stuff's happening in B, and for most of that time, he just got entry'd by Forrest or somebody else. So, you know, either nothing is happening on your side of the map, and when it does, there's a really good chance you'll die, even if you just take someone with you. So, not making too many excuses, but that B position especially, you really can get like the short end of the stick a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, look at NIP. Like, they just went A pretty much the entire first half. There was like 4 rounds that they went to B total out of the entire first half. It was all mid control and A splits. That's all NIP were doing. So Taco just not going to get a whole lot of action over there playing, you know, the steady anchor on that B site. Now we go into the second half, however. It is 10-5. Luminosity have swapped over to the T side, and they're already gearing up for a bit of a play in mid. I mean, they're going to go straight on to B here.
And look at this NIP. They only have someone spotting. They're actually playing a retake on B bomb side in the pistol round. That is very brave, and it's going to be scary for them to actually try and do this. Luminosity are in great position right now, and they even have on catwalk FNX, who was hiding in the smoke all along and stabs GetRight in the back. That's absolutely fantastic. What a way to get started here. 10-5, and we'll see if they can continue. Taco with a got close range. He's going to get the 1 kill in, but Threat will be able to reply. Forrest with a good headshot. They need a lot more, and it looks like it's not going to happen. Exist here gets the 1 kill in, but FNX is still in a good position right now. Exist has to go and hunt him down. He doesn't have a kit picked up either. He can't waste any time. He jumps around the corner, and FNX will shut him down to get his 24th kill in just 16 rounds.
And I'm wondering what the hell happened there. Was that miscommunication between FNX and Cold? Did they not figure out where Exist was shooting from? Because he had the silencer. Because Cold comes off the box and he's looking towards short. He's looking towards FNX. So that's like the last place he should be looking. He should be looking, you know, well, obviously towards Kitchen in this case. So yeah, a bit of an odd little moment there that made it happen. You know, that made it go to a 1v1 clutch. But I feel like there could have been a situation there where it was a 2v1 and, you know, Exist just gets caught in a crossfire. So yeah, interesting turn of events.
It looked a bit confusing, yeah, it definitely did.
But sometimes that's it. In the heat of the moment, you can't communicate properly sometimes, and, well, those kinds of situations happen, but you can count on FNX right now. He is the anchor, and Taco taking point going on to the A site. Very quick execute here for Luminosity. Very little respect being shown.
Freiberg with a good kill, taking out Fur. I think Cold Zero must have just realized, since I can't move forward, there kind of has to be somebody in that smoke, and threaten Get Right. This one's a bit of a sort of a, you know, an armor round for NIP. They did pick up armor and upgraded pistols, wanting to see if they could, I guess, replicate the madness that was going on in the first half with all the rounds being traded. That didn't quite happen here, as you could tell, and this is going to propel Luminosity. I mean, unless NIP could upset and surprise us in the next round, that's probably going to make it 13-5 before NIP could realistically buy. And at that point, Sam, it's going to have to be a complete shutout half. They're going to have to lock Luminosity out of the second half for this to work out.
And, I mean, you're dealing with FNX, who has only died 6 times. He's 25, 6, and 6. Like, this guy, once Luminosity got the ball rolling, he just stopped dying. He just didn't die again. It was, like, invulnerable. He went full God mode. All right, well, I mean, I'm really curious to see what NIP are going to be able to do about that.
I feel like that's one of the exciting but also slightly weird things about watching Luminosity play, is that you really don't know which one of them is gonna come out with guns blazing. We've seen matches where Taco's been sort of leading the charge as well. So obviously Cold and Fur, I guess, are like 2 of the heavy, really heavy. I always think of FNX as more sort of a cleanup guy and come in and you know, take care of business once it's a 1-on-2 or something like that. But it's all over the place with this team, which must be frustrating to play against as well. It's not like you can sort of you know, get the entry on one player and say, well, at least he's out of the way, you know, the rest is going to be a little bit easier. Not necessarily.
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, Fur is still a real danger in his own right for God. I mean, the guy can be a monster and fallen as well.
I feel like Fur, especially on Inferno, it's almost like you did, and there's something good about, you know, Inferno. So good about that. I like that.
I see what you did there.
Even on Twitter, you know, I'm just coming up with great puns.
Seems like Luminosity have also seen a bit of what NIP have in store for them. They've gotten mid control early on, didn't find anybody there. They don't see anybody pushing in B apartments, and they are going to go back towards A. So maybe I'm lying, because NIP decided to stick with the stack, and this is going to be a bit problematic here. Freiberg gets caught out, so Taco is able to spot him there, but now Freiberg knows there's an AK and the instant running headshot, of course. So now Taco is going to have to play it very carefully as he tries to come out of the site, onto the site rather, from the palace.
Freiberg picking up a good kill there, USP in hand, and Luminosity, they do have time to run back if they wanted to, but I mean, you have all these rifles, maybe you're just not going to... Actually, they are bringing the bomb back here. There's just enough time for it, while the rest of Luminosity are waiting around, just checking out what's going on in the A bomb site. 25 seconds, and they're bringing the bomb back again, so you can tell there's a lot of communication going on right now on the Brazilian side. They're really trying to stay on point here, and Freiberg is in the site with about 15 seconds now, looking for another shot. Not quite going to do it, and Exist, if only he could stop the bomb from going down with 10 seconds here, that would be fantastic, but obviously not in position to do that, and he's going to get taken out by Cold Zero, who has about 5 health. So 13-5, and this is where NIP have to make their stand. They cannot even buy an AWP to do it with.
Yeah, exactly. They've been investing a little bit. I mean, they still managed to squeak out a few nades here along with the M4s. Nobody has to skimp per se and go for the FAMAS. A bit surprised to see them going for the head armor. I mean, that's an extra HE, an extra flash, or a kit in some cases. So, I mean, a little bit of an interesting choice coming out there from the Swedes on how they choose to allocate their money. But Forrest has got a kit. They have some nades, and they really need to come up with something big. And you almost want to see them take a little bit of a risk and start challenging, but Luminosity just aren't letting that happen. They're going for a very fast B execute, straight split onto the site. Get Right does manage to trade 1-for-1 with Taco, but then it's all going to be coming down to, well, I mean, it's all going to be on Threat.
Yeah,
This is it. It's the in-game leader. Can he do it?
He's hiding in this. Well, they're shooting at him. The Grenade follow-up. They knew that he was there, and Forrest is going to get taken out as well. What an execute here. I actually thought Get Right would go down without taking anyone with him, but he just had enough bullets to get the first kill there. Freiburg taking one in return on FNX, and IP, I mean, they're right there, but getting out of Kitchen is just immensely difficult when everyone's got their aim trained on just that position. Fallen, perfect position with the AWP, gonna leg Freiburg, and it's enough to get a kill. Exist gonna go down, and Cold Sierra picking up yet another double kill for also a 29. Oh, sorry, FNX at 29. He's one away from the 30 bomb. I mean, this is incredible.
I mean, that was just super clean work, right? That's clearly something that Luminosity have worked a lot on. I mean, aggressive flashes to stop any kind of rush coming out from NIP. The Molotov into connector just to try and split anybody if they did try and push out. The smoke chain on short, so if somebody's spotting from window or back into connector, they just aren't going to spot Luminosity running right up until they're already in Get Right's face. It's like, surprise!
But that's exactly what NIP did as well. So, I mean, NIP probably should have been, if they had anyone spotting middle, which I'm not sure they had, but you know, Get Right should have known, because that's what he did. You know, he ran into Cold Zero in that same position.
Oh, here we go, the Force. Let's see if it actually pans out here for NIP. It's all or nothing at this point. And Taco, he's just allowed to just stroll right into this site. He goes right onto Exist and gets the headshot on Freiburg. They just cannot stand up to this Brazilian brutality coming out here. NIP, it's down to threat.
He didn't just climb that ladder, did he? He just fired up. He shot up the ladder, just really, really aggressive. It's all right. Calm down, Taco.
That was sick. And then the second kill, man. How, like, what was the guy on the side doing? I guess he was he was watching Palace as well and just did not see Taco get up the ladder that quickly. I mean,
yeah.
No idea.
It's hard to know exactly what's going on there. First shooting at the corner, and Threat walking into it. Not that he really had any out in this position. 15-5 is the scoreline here. So we are one round away from Luminosity winning here at the winners match as well. So it doesn't mean NIP, they're not out. They get to play a best of 3, in fact, to stay in the tournament. But
Exactly.
they are playing what I think many would consider at this point maybe the second best team in the tournament, or at least top 3 in the tournament.
Up there, yeah, exactly. They're top 3. I mean, Envy are out of it now. Astralis, Na'Vi, Fnatic, Luminosity, those are pretty much the teams we expect to make it into the semis and start battling it out for the title. And I mean, you can see why. There's just a huge gap right now between what NIP can bring to the table and what Luminosity are capable of. Luminosity, they've just, ever since that brawl started in the first half, I mean, they've never given up control. NIP have not been able to get their game going whatsoever. So, I mean, now we have another force coming out here from NIP. They try to go for the rifles, but they just don't have the money for it. So it means a scout on Exist, an MP7 on Freiburg, Shoddy on Get Right.
It's shocking because NIP actually came out of that brawl ahead. You know, they finally forced Luminosity to eco, and that's what you don't want to do, right? But didn't even matter at that point. They were just going to come back anyway. And playing around like this is so difficult when you're NIP. You're already out of grenades. You have 1 HE and 1 flashbang, and I don't know what you're going to do at this point. Luminosity are playing it very slowly, which means soon they're gonna sort of put 2 and 2 together and realize, wait a minute, guys, there are no more smokes going up, so they probably have none. That means we have a lot of options with how we want to execute.
And they're making, this is a pretty sick choice as well. They've had 6, I mean, they have the utility A if they want to apply the pressure on mid. See that short smoke going down, that's going to put a lot of pressure on Exist now to try and come up with something, some kind of info. And you can see him hopping all over the place, just trying to spot somebody, but there's nobody to be found. Taco's lurking over on the A site, and it's just going to be Luminosity pushing Fur up here into B apartments, putting the pressure on Get Right now. And there we go. Get Right goes duck hunting, and he gets donated a rifle.
Wow, well, that was a bit of a knockout blow, wasn't it? Fur going to be going down. FNX trying to sneak in here, and he drops to Freiburg. In fact, but Cold Zero and Taco coming back into it. It's all now on Forrest and Freiburg to try and stay alive here, and they won't. Cold Zero and Fallen to end it 16-5 in favor of Luminosity Gaming, and they are going to move on in the group. And a very, very decisive victory, you could say, for them.
Yeah, brutal, just brutal.
NIP picking up no rounds in the second half.
I mean, Taco waking up a bit in the end. Interesting to see him in that new role over in the lurk on apartments. And rather than just being that straight entry fragger, which he was before, now they're trying to, you know, show some variety in their setups. But I mean, FNX, man. Like, he just completely went ham this game.
He didn't get his last kill for the 30 bombs.
It's such a shame. But, you know,
if they would have given him an ace, it would have been everything.
He gets a day to contemplate that, you know, get rested up.
How do I get better?
Show up for the arena, because that's it. They got that first seed. They're going straight into the quarterfinals now.
That's obviously very, very. I think everyone who's going to be at in the nationwide arena must have been looking forward to seeing Luminosity play, because if you saw them in Katowice, if you saw them at the last major, you know just how good they are and you know how much fun they are watching. So
what a hard situation for Threat as well. I mean, right now it's just a kick in the teeth for NIP. They lose one of their heavy hitters. That's Pyth. I mean.
Yeah,
they expect him. I mean, he can op, he can rifle. He's got an impact for NIP. They count on him to get kills, and now they find themselves. You know, it's like 2 years ago when Fifth was still playing. Well, you know, they've got a guy on their server, on their team, who's getting 6 kills in a key match. Like, it's a lot. It's tough. I mean, yes, he's in-game leading, but he's not having any impact in the game, really.
It's also just that when you're playing the game, like Threat has the advantage of being. I mean, he's tactically strong, and he has been. Yeah. He always has been. But so. If you're looking at the game as an outside viewer, someone who's not at the keyboard and mouse, and you can sort of look at what your team is doing wrong, it's much easier for him to sort of chime in and say, actually, guys, this is what's not working. When you're playing the game yourself, how is he going to do that? You know, he's focused on all sorts of other things, too. So his impact as a tactician is diminished so badly by him being in the game.
Yeah,
so
by being rusty.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, it's the fact that Pyth is probably like more on point with playing the game mechanically, but Threat also is less of a tactician in the game. It works both ways, and that's much worse, obviously. What we do have, luckily, on the stage is Red Eye ready with an interview to see what Luminosity think about this pretty big victory.
Thank you very much, Fallen. Congratulations on another great victory. I said to you, just jokingly, you seem pretty calm, but you said no. Why?
I think inside I am very tense because the game was very difficult, despite the result was 16-5. In the beginning of the match, every team was getting a point, so every single time our money was being broken, and the same for them. But I think FNX stepped it up and decided the game for us.
I mean, talk about the early game, because it was 1-1, 2-2, 3-3. It's like a couple of heavyweights in there, slugging it out every round. What was going on?
Yeah, exactly. We lost the pistol round, and then again, just like the first match we played on this major, we won the second round. And some mistakes on the third round, they got the point. Then Code Zero saved us with a 1-on-3 clutch. It was an insane play by him. And then they got another point again. And then for some time, when the match goes like this, it's normal, at least for my players, for my teammates, they got a little nervous. Like, I remember there was a round, they were too worried about someone boosting on Window. And it's like someone said that 10 times, like, guys, be careful, they can be Window. But we're not paying attention to the game, and they exploded on an A split, and we got caught off guard. So after that round, they say, guys, calm down. We know there could be someone on Window. Just relax. And then, happily, FNX stepped it up. I mean, he made all the plays that we needed to come back in the game. And after we catch ourselves getting some rounds in a row, I think we got confident again, and the game started flowing way better.
Is it easier or harder playing against a team that you know is potentially weaker because they've had a player change? Is it in your mind you think they should be easier, but is it harder?
Well, it's theoretically speaking, it's easier because, you know, Pyth is theoretically supposed to be better than Thrift. But if you look for the past game they played, the first game they played, Threat played very well. Like, there are some rounds that he decided for NIP. And taking Threat aside, you have 4 Legends players. NIP guys are way too good to think it's going to be easy or something. So I don't think it's easy because Threat's there. And he's their coach. He knows what Pyth is supposed to be doing, so he can do it. Even if it's not with the same quality, Pyth could do it. So by no means I think it's easier because we're not of him. So we treat this game as the same if Pyth was there, and I'm glad we took the victory.
Okay, a year ago I interviewed you many times, and it was always on the verge of, oh, we're almost there, we're getting better every time, we're improving, we're through to the quarterfinals, and you were thrilled to get to the quarterfinals. Since then, you've made semi-finals, you've made finals. Is the pressure good or bad for you now? Because there is more pressure on you guys, isn't there, to reach those finals?
Yeah, I wouldn't say pressure. It's like more desire. I think everyone wants to be the champion for at least once. let's hope Fnatic let us win at least one. I'm kidding, but I mean, it's not a pressure because something that we discuss internally, I say, guys, don't think too much about the tournament, about the title itself, because if we start overthinking about it, it's probably going to be harm for us. We're going to be nervous and this kind of thing. So last 3 past majors, we become legends, and we stayed on the quarterfinals. So this time we want to go further. But it's pretty good result already. People sometimes only think about who is winning, but if we're part of the 8 best teams in the world, it's something you should be already happy for. So I'm happy for us to qualify, but this major wants more, so we're looking for semifinals and finals, hopefully.
Okay, well, best of luck in the quarterfinals, because that's exactly where they are right now. They are in the quarterfinals. Let's find out what our analysts made of it with Sir Scoots.
Thank you very much, Paul. Again, another good interview by Fall, and he always gives a good interview. And again, like Paul said, they have booked a trip to the quarterfinals. They're our first team that is going to get to play in the nationwide arena, although we've got 3 more matches tonight to talk about. Let's go ahead and finish breaking this one down. Let me bring my analyst guys in. So again, you guys all basically leaned on Luminosity to win that. I'm going to start with you, Fifth Lauren. You even with Threat, you probably didn't think it was going to be a 16-5, or did you kind of think it was going to be a shellacking?
I think that for Threat to call the way that he's been calling coming into the tournament is a lot more difficult because he has to actually focus on himself playing at the same time. Now, the result, I wasn't expecting a 16-5. I was probably expecting more of like a 16-8, 16-10. But it is extremely difficult, and especially in the beginning of the game because Luminosity started CT side, lost pistol, won the eco, lost their anti-eco, and then won again. Like the economy there is already shattered, which only benefits the terrorists.
Yeah.
Every single time they get the bomb down, keeping the economy low for CTs, it only benefits the terrorists. And that's exactly what NIP started off with. And then you actually thought, oh, this might actually get close. And then after that, Luminosity won a few consecutive rounds, stabilized an economy. FNX was playing great.
Yeah.
Insane performance. 29 frags in 21 rounds, just top notch. And as for NIP, it's obviously a shame that Pats can't be here. This is the the scenario that we're at. Coming into the tournament, they were looking great. With Threat, they probably know better than anyone else in terms of like how difficult it is to play with a stand-in. Even though he's your coach, he's supposed to know everything. So I don't know. Just for Luminosity at least, they seem to be in form, played great, and I'm excited to see them in the quarterfinals.
And you, Mos?
I mean, they do just have. Luminosity is one of those teams that's quietly become, this team of like players who are just in really good roles, being utilized very, very well. And then much like some of like the heavy hitters, like the Fanatics, Envy for a time, they have top to bottom a roster where all of these players can carry. FNX always having these impact rounds. We've seen Taco at Katowice carry them through stretches. Fur carry them through stretches. Cold, we know he's carried them and Fallen as well. Has had 6 stretches of games where he's basically been the mad star of this team. All of them have taken a turn, so now they have this roster, and they're gaining all this experience of being in these deep tournament runs, and they're hitting a really good peak here at the major. This was surprising in how wide of a margin it was, to a certain extent. I mean, this is just one of those teams that can pile it on. They're so good tactically, so skilled individually. The thing that you said, once they stabilized, once they won those couple of rounds on the CT side, they never looked back. That's where you kind of see NIP with the stand-in, with Threat not sitting behind them. They don't have that capacity to make the adjustment to really get the momentum back away from Luminosity, and it was just all LG from there.
Yeah, and you know what? Look, Luminosity are an amazing team, and the good thing is when a team is malfunctioning and maybe tactically it's not working. And again, coming into this, they did lose to the likes of TSM, like on one map, and Cloud9 and Winter Fox, things like that. You've got to have those guys who can step up and have a performance. Now, for the longest time, it was Cold Zero, but Fur's back, and FNX is doing it. And as you said, when you get to a stage where even Taco can carry you through rough periods, and he's inarguably the weakest player on the team, this is a very impressive run of form for them. For NIP, I'm not surprised. Mirage is a beast map for Luminosity, and as good as it's been for NIP, you're playing it with a stand-in. I think that's deflated the NIP camp a little bit, and they were never going to be able to stand up to the likes of Luminosity on this one. So it kind of went par for the course. Not really a lot to add.
Thankfully for Ninjas in Pajamas, they are not out of the tournament. They now drop to the lower bracket of Group A, and that means they're going to take on Mouse Sports. And that will be a best of 3 tomorrow. So not out of it. Threat's got a little bit more work to do, a couple more maps to hopefully play. So we might see them still in the arena. You never quite know. But, again, they are definitely handicapped with losing their starting 5 guys, or 5th, I should say. Our next match, though, also going to be a good one. One more North American shot. Well, we got 2, but one more right now. Fnatic, Liquid. Oh, gentlemen, I don't know what to say about this one. I mean, obviously, I want to wave my flag. I want to put your hat on. But the beast in the room, Fnatic. We'll talk about it in detail. I'm going to stop staring at you guys. I'm going to throw it a commercial break because they're yelling at me in the ear. So we will be right back after this quick commercial break, and then we're going to dive into Fnatic, Liquid. Come on, NA. Let's do this. See you after the break.
That's why I don't listen.
Welcome back, folks. We are still in Columbus, Ohio. We got a couple more matches to bring you. We are now in the winners' final area of the tournament. Again, no one's going home anymore. All the worst that can happen to them is they have to drop down to the lower bracket of their group and then play a best of 3 to either go home or move on to the Nationwide Arena tomorrow. So, that being said, tonight's next matchup is going to be Fnatic taking on Liquid. We've swapped out one of our characters. We got rid of the North American guy, brought in Thorin. Moses is crying over his Cloud9 pick still. He didn't want me to roast him anymore, so welcome back to the desk, Thorin.
Yeah. I mean, after that performance, disgraceful. He got the hopes of everyone up. Everyone thought they could maybe go, but I was talking about Moses, by the way, predicting Cloud9 again. Cloud9, that was obvious, Any top-tier analyst, I think, would have had them going out of the group, so... Bad luck to Moses. You live and learn.
He's just phoning it in.
Very much the skadoodle of majors in terms of analysis, so rest in peace.
All right, so Fnatic Liquid, obviously another North American powerhouse, a lot of people would say in the sense of North America.
A house of sorts,
the second best team possibly coming out of North America. Hiko's squad now with Simple in the mix. We got picks and bans coming. We're going to have you walk us through this, Duncan. You know all these guys' maps really well.
I mean, the big problem here for Liquid is it's so hard to know where they can get Fnatic here. Fnatic is actually good at 5 of the 7 maps. And the maps Fnatic doesn't want to play, okay, so in theory, they don't really want to play Train. Yeah, they're probably going to, I mean, Mirage is like their standard first ban, so Inferno had to be a ban for Liquid because they don't play it, and it's a phenomenal map for the guys from Fnatic. Fnatic doing Cash ban is not bad. They are actually very good on it, but they're just doing that because it's famously Liquid's best map. Then Train ban from Liquid, again, you can't play Fnatic. Here's what's funny, actually. That's actually the one area where... actually, I'm going to disagree there. That's the one area where I feel there's a problem for Liquid, is that, okay, maybe they're not super strong on Dust 2, but actually, I feel like Train is the map that they should have tried to get the randometer at least to have an option for, because actually Train's been one where, in theory, you could in some ways exploit Fnatic. Like, that's one of the ones they have some losses on. Meanwhile, Dust 2 actually... statistically is an unreal map for Fnatic, and most teams, here's the thing, they don't have as crazy a record as they do on Inferno, because most teams don't play them on Inferno. They just get Dusty straight out of there, refuse to play it, so that's why the insane record retains. So it's possible, maybe they're not as sick as we think they are because they don't play it anymore, but I think there's a reason why they don't play it and why everyone else is scared and bans it against Fnatic, usually first of all. So in terms of the Cobblestone ban from Fnatic, again, because Fnatic's map pool is so deep, they're just banning at this point, by the way. They're banning away the strengths of Liquid, and they're just trying to get it to weaker maps for Liquid. Yeah. The problem here on the Liquid side is they've essentially said, right, well, we're willing to play. I mean, it would have been Overpass or Dust 2 here. I think if you're Liquid, you're wanting it to be Overpass at that point in time. That's the one you're praying for. Dust 2, I saw how they played against Hellraisers with this lineup. Admittedly, a work in progress at the time. It was like almost a month ago. But I know Fnatic is phenomenal on that map. And that is a map that, like, I mean, you think of, like, JW loves that map. He's all over it on CT side, on T side. Obviously, Crims has always been very good on the T side. I think this is going to be really, really hard work for Liquid. Like, I think they probably missed a trick with not putting the ban on Dust 2 and letting Train be in there.
And then one thing I want to bring up, not quite the same as the NIP situation because it's player to player, but Liquid's also in a kind of a quasi-changed roster situation. They qualified, they started the qualification process with one player, Adren, and therefore had to finish it. But in the meantime, Adren has left the team, and they've replaced him with Kusta, up-and-coming great kid out of North America as well, but Kusta can't play with him now. Kusta's the guy that they're doing all the practice with, all the online leagues, all that kind of work for all the other stuff they have to go do. So, again, they're kind of coming in hampered off the bat, and now you got to take on the #1 team. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think I'm going to say something that's going to trigger people because I was the guy who was on the Kusta train and was kind of one of the first people in Europe that was talking about this guy. Like, you know, was the real deal and deserved to be in a top NA team. But actually, they've looked better with Adren than they have with Kusta in the build-up to this tournament. And Adren's playing with that freedom almost of like the condemned man. You know, they say if you're guilty of a crime, when you get caught and put in a cell, you just go to sleep. Well, he knows he's out the team and he's in the shop window. And that's what he's doing. He's trying to play and say, look, I'm still valid as a player. So anyway, it looks like
we're about to start.
Yeah.
Quick predictions.
I think obviously it's going to be a Fnatic win.
Okay. Fnatic 50.
Gotta be.
Fnatic. All right, there you have it, gentlemen. It's a Fnatic panel, and rightfully so. The world is behind Fnatic. They are the #1 team on the planet.
Stop crowding the mic, Fifth Flower. Come on, let's get a word in, mate. Come on, bloody hell.
All the time.
The ego on these players.
All right, well, you guys see the flaw. It is Dust 2, and this time, who's it going to be up there? Let me look. Yep, it's going to be Anders and Semler. Gentlemen, it is all yours.
Thank you very much to the analyst desk. Confusing as it ever is. We're going to go into this game here, Semler, and it's Liquid and Fnatic. And everyone seems to be on Fnatic side. I want to hear from you as well. What do you think?
I mean, Richard just closed on a very strong point. It just seems like Liquid are playing so much better with Adren right now.
Yeah.
Adren, he's stepped up individually. He had a fantastic first day to the tournament, and I mean, a couple of real solid clutches that put them into this match. And so, I think all eyes are on him right now to see if he can maintain this form, if he can actually, keep having a high impact for Liquid, and that's going to be the key here to actually, kind of put Fnatic on the back foot, because if the Liquid players don't step up individually, they just aren't going to be able to hang with the best in the world that is Fnatic.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, especially when we're playing Dust 2. This is sort of the individualist map. This is where you can really have a high impact, because you could be so mobile, you could be all over the map taking individual fights, and that's exactly what Fnatic do very well. Some of the absolute best players in the world on this exact team for that kind of play. Now, we do have a lot of shot control here coming in from Team Liquid with Adren, just making sure that no one is sneaking around up behind them. And it's going to be, I think, a lot comes down to Flusher here, trying to see if he can pick them off as they make the crossover. If he can't, then they're probably going to get a free bomb plant in here. And that's a little bit bad for Fnatic. Well, there's Flusher taking one, but the aim punch coming into it and just simply shutting him down. Simple with a fantastic kill. And that's going to be the bomb plant 4-on-4 retake. Adren raiding in the middle. He's got the Glock close range here. Is he going to try for the burst fire? JW is right behind him. Oh no, they're going to group up on him, and Crims will take out the kill.
Yeah, Fnatic right now, this is all about just that mid control. They're going to be able to push up onto Cat and apply some pressure. But the fact that Dennis is on long still, he's going to be challenging Simple fairly soon. Olofmeister's making sure that they're boxed onto short. And Fnatic, they have all the info now to go for the retake. They aren't wasting any time at all. Olofmeister steps up, takes out Simple, and leaugue gets wiped out as well. It's all on Hiko, and it's just not enough. Full, easy retake for Fnatic, and that was their plan all along. The way that they focused on mid, they're waiting. They're saying, okay, if you guys go for a B split, we're going to be there to hard counter you with 2 guys waiting in mid, an extra guy on the B site. It all comes down to whether Flusher, can confirm that it's a cat push and whether he's going to be able to, trade 1 for 1. And he did just that. After that, it's Dennis who's holding on to long. They make sure that they have that, and then it just turns into this pincer retake onto that A site. And Team Liquid just couldn't hang. They couldn't handle it.
Right, and we sort of brought up the point, and there was a bit of discussion on Twitter. I saw Lopez tweeting a bit about it. They're sort of playing retake on B bomb side on Mirage, the last match that we were just in. Well, maybe that's a bit questionable. Playing retake on B bomb side Dust 2 here is horrendous, but on A bomb side it's a very valid strategy. You could definitely do it, and retake just basically means you have no one sort of hard on the bomb side, so making sure no one gets on there. You sort of almost lure them in a bit, but then you take away all their positions. So once the bomb is down, the terrorists want to take up sort of some post-plant positions that are good for the defending, and they can't do that if you play the retake really well. And then, yeah, they have the bomb down and they have the bomb site, but they're not going to win the round. That's the theory anyway. And Fnatic sort of essentially luring them a bit in their Team Liquid, and worked out quite well.
Yeah, now Fnatic are kind of going for that catch-all kind of strategy. 2-1-2, spread out across the map. Have a couple on the extremities, 2 guys holding solid on the B side. Dennis already starting the party over here at long. Flusha's going to catch leaugue. That was in top mid. And really right now, Liquid, they're getting bogged down. They're just getting picked off one after another, and that's not what needs to happen here. They just need to gang up and try and rush somebody, get a rifle to work with, and do some damage. And there we go. That's what I'm talking about. Nitro, he sacks himself. He throws himself in there, but Hiko gets the trade kill. And now it's going to be whether or not Hiko can actually get out there and pick up the rifle, but Olofmeister's not even going to let him do that. Quick rotation coming in from Olofmeister to shut down that gap. And yeah, Liquid just cannot find a single thing to work with in this round.
Now, you see that the patience as well and the confidence on Dennis, putting a couple of shots or even sort of randomly shooting, but keeping an eye on his bullet count and not afraid at all that he was going to get rushed down. Eventually he did die, but still it's just, some basic confidence here. And third round coming up, because of the bomb plant in the first round, they have the money, and we talked about this on Mirage as well. $800 bonus allows them to buy a round earlier than they otherwise would have been allowed to. So that's going to help out Liquid at least just a little bit here. And a beautiful grenade right to the corner, maybe setting up for a bit of a rush out long. In fact, every single member of the Liquid team has made their way out now. This obviously forces Fnatic back, and because it happened so early, it's a good job on Liquid, but they need to figure out what they want to do with this.
It's so sick. Fnatic, they're like a machine. They're like, okay, we lost long control, fine, quick, boost back up onto Catwalk, get cat control, make sure that anybody coming up here from Liquid is going to get caught out. It's just they fall back. They're like, great, have that part of the map. That's fine, because we'll hold on to the other entrance onto the A site and stop you here. Now they decide, okay, it's time to push for some info. They start getting out into dark, into B halls. They get the info here. They say, okay, nobody's over here yet. And so right now, Fnatic, they're just canvassing the map. They're figuring out exactly where Liquid are going to be coming from.
Yeah, and you saw what they just did, JW and Crims as well. They put up a smoke behind them after they had already snuck into upper. So that means if someone was up a dark, we can tell that nobody is. But if someone was there, they'd hear the smoke and they might think, well, they're smoking enough. They must be all the way in B-bomb side, right? So they're playing some deep mind games as well, trying to cheat Liquid into a false sense of security. leaugue making his way up middle, but they're not even realizing that they're in lower dark already. JW is in a beautiful position, and he just spotted the head of leaugue. This could end horribly with that grenade raining in as well. leaugue practically there, but Simple picking up the one headshot there on Flusher. Might give them an opening. They're trying to make their way up long as well. Olof in CT spawn with the spray on one. Goes for a couple of tabs there. Not going to get it. Hiko will shut him down instead, and Dennis is so fast behind them here. They need that bomb plant. They got 25 seconds here. This will be a big round for Liquid if they can make it work. leaugue all alone. He's getting the one kill in, and it's a one-on-one. JW, here's the big thing. There's 15 seconds. The bomb's going to go down, but leaugue, where is he going to go? JW has an HE grenade, which means one single mistake here from leaugue. If he's in the wrong position, then he's going to die before anything else even happens. And he's currently up there. JW making his way down CT spawn. There's plenty of time for JW to work with. He hasn't primed the grenade yet, and leaugue is a little bit nervous here. JW getting closer still, just with the rifle out, sneaking up there. He's not even going to try for the grenade, it seems. He's going to try for the jump, maybe with the M4. Spots out leaugue just a little bit. Goes for it again. There's the grenade raining in. He gets out of position. That's very good. leaugue trying to buy time with the clock down here. JW right in front of leaugue. He's going to get the round. It's the third one here, and Liquid will pick it up. Fantastic 1-on-2 here. A very young player again in leaugue, but that's a very good job. It's hard to keep your focus when you're playing the #1 team in the world.
And that's so sick from JW. He's the big play here. You can see him just completely eviscerating this wing of the offense coming in from Liquid. But that retake, it's all about leaugue being on the other side of the box when JW gets that final jump. JW's like, okay, I haven't spotted him. I don't see him on the site. He must be Goose, and he commits his HE there. But if he even spots a shoulder of leaugue is a dead man. That HE goes banking off the wall straight onto him.
Yeah.
So just leaugue keeping his cool, playing the angles, and JW just not getting the correct info to play off of. But that being said, JW, he's not a guy to waste much time. He gets his AWP in this round, and he already gets the first pick to start things off here for Fnatic. So that's so essential. That's key for Fnatic because they're so low on utility. So this is going to put some pressure here on Liquid, force them to make the play.
And they definitely don't want to lose this round either, Fnatic, because then they would be ecoing. So they got to make sure that they keep the economy flowing here. And already with Nitro going down. And we saw yesterday that Nitro was sort of almost sort of him and Dren, obviously, but Nitro definitely also playing a huge part in Liquid's win yesterday. So losing him early might not be ideal. I still, because I mean, I was tweeting this earlier, but Simple was here. He was here like 3 hours before doing deathmatch. He was very disappointed in his game yesterday, and he wanted to do better today. So you got to look for Simple as well, I think, to do some damage here.
He is a key player. I mean, he is the guy that they literally brought over from Europe to North America, just because he's got that individual talent. He's got crazy skill. Still a little, still can be a little rough around the edges, but that's being worked on. And well, now we have to see it. Dren is going to sack himself. It looks like he's taking point. And they do establish that crossfire in mid, hoping for Fnatic for somebody to peek into mid to try and get the info. And there's Flusher with the CZ75 doing damage. Fair trade versus Hiko. JW will take the peek. Close up, and Crims from platform will drop Simple. That's bomb control now for Fnatic. And it's all going to be on a Dren here, all by his lonesome. And Olafmeister coming in from CT will pick him off at range. So Fnatic, they get that entry, or at least the initial kill in the round, and then they just never give up from there. They're getting that information, and Liquid are just not able to find a pick anywhere to, create some movement for them. For themselves, rather.
Yeah, and that's definitely a bit of a worry, I would say. I think a team like Fnatic, on this CT side, I don't think they need that many rounds. I think if they get up to 6 or more, then it's smooth sailing from there on out. Because they're already at 3 and Liquid are, well, they're actually going to go for a pistol force up here. So that might also be Liquid's sort of realization that we need to do something here. Simple, trying for that shot, and it looked like it was about to be dead on, but it doesn't quite work out.
Yeah, this is all about Liquid just saying, well, we're in a double eco scenario, boys. So we eat the double eco and we kind of, get a lot of nades to work with, or we just try and bite the bullet, catch Fnatic out here with some aggression, some early aggression with the pistols. They have some utility as well. leaugue with the smoke, Nitro and Adren have smokes as well, so they could try and set up for the B split here, trying to catch somebody off guard. I mean, they nearly made it happen in the last round, so maybe that's what they're hoping for here. But it is tough. And yeah, okay. At least they're still being methodical as well here, Team Liquid. They get that flash up onto short. They start clearing out short, so they get some short control. So if they do elect to go for the B split, it means that nobody can rotate over here quickly from Fnatic. They're going to only have to worry about the man in CT, and he'll get smoked off.
JW covering a very, very sort of narrow angle in the middle here, but just enough to see if anyone's going to be jumping up on the box and boosting up onto Catwalk. So some decent information for him. The grenades rain in. He's not even going to wait for them. He just immediately falls back. So gives a bit of space for Liquid to work within here, and they've got to be quick about it. They can't really take a long fight with these pistols. They gotta be rushing it down, and there's leaugue opening up with a strong kill. He goes down, but look at Crims actually almost getting killed immediately. He still gets a double in return. He's on 2 health. He's looking for the 3rd click, but not quite gonna happen. Adren will take him out. And he's gonna be alone, and he has the bomb, but they're just rushing him down here. Adren picking up 2 kills though, and a rifle. AWP in middle, but oh no! It's gonna be Olofmeister walking up from behind. That looked like Adren could have maybe got the quad if Olaf had actually been in CT spawn, but it's going to be 4-1. That's a powerful round for Liquid anyway.
Yeah, man, off of a force-buy pistol, they managed to get 4 kills. Adren coming in big again. He doesn't win this clutch like he did yesterday. I mean, yesterday he just had a huge impact for Liquid, but this time, I mean, look at this. I mean, this is a revived Adren. He's just going in here, no fear at all. And you're right, had Olofmeister and Adren, sure, he's waiting to see if Olofmeister's going to come CT because that's usually where Olofmeister rotates in from.
Yeah.
So he's looking with that AWP. He was he was spot on with his play. Just that this time, sometimes the details change, and, well, Olofmeister manages to come through for his team. So Fnatic, they keep control of the situation. They're up 4-1 now on the score. And it is a bit of a touch-and-go kind of buy for them, but Olaf decides to go aggressive. Gets up close, takes out Adren. Dennis is there to back him up as well, and this drops the bomb outside of Long. So no respect coming in here from Fnatic in this anti-eco.
Oh, leaugue.
Wow.
That was a nice attempt. I mean, you hear that AWP go off, you know he's not going to have a chance to reply immediately. Knife coming in here. Nitro, he hasn't actually killed anyone yet, but he's going to be given a kill by JW, and that will pretty much be the end of it. JW trying to knife him. I mean, so that definitely has, I think, on most players will have a mental impact on how you play the game. You start to feel like they're not even being pressured enough that they have to sort of take it seriously. They're running around with knives out, you know. Are we really that bad? Hopefully Liquid don't feel that way yet, but, you know, over time, it could definitely get to you.
That's what JW's telling him. You're spot on, man. That's exactly what JW's telling him. It's the mental war that's going on here. And JW, that's also just his personality. He's the troll.
Yeah.
He shows no respect. He gets in your face.
I
He
love
makes
it.
you earn it.
Definitely love it.
And look at this. I mean, this is also just a crazy angle for him to go for, right? Doesn't have eyes on lower dark, so he just goes for the full commit, looking to suicide. Not going to see anybody, though, so that's some good information for Fnatic to go off of. And once again, Team Liquid, they actually take very quick control of Long. So let's see if they can actually act off of this, if they can decide to just commit to the site. It's going to be down to Fnatic to go for the retake. And, well, the last time this happened, JW, he lost the clutch. So let's see if Team Liquid can do it again.
They're making their way up. A little bit fast, simple, covering lower dark. That is important. Nitro with a great opening frag. And if he can get him in the game, that might make a big difference. Until that kill on JW, he wasn't even on the server just yet. And Simple is here, making it very hard for Fnatic now to rotate up onto Catwalk. So if he stays alive, he's going to get the 1 kill. And it's a brilliant teamwork coming out of Liquid right now. With the bomb down and in a 5-on-3, this should be an unlosable position. And with Crims going down and Flusher to follow, finally it seems like the North American team has found some sort of solid ground to stand on. leaugue will be the last to get a kill, and Liquid picking up a 2nd round. Yeah, high fives are in order. Now, now they got to keep building. And actually, Fnatic not that far away from ecoing, so this is possible. This is doable.
Oh, yeah. And they're one step closer to getting that respect. Right now, Fnatic have got to be thinking, okay, time to start taking these guys seriously. We were joking around a little bit, JW. Okay, sure, you tried to go for the knife. Yes, we managed to get the round so far. But Team Liquid are showing that if you underestimate us, we will do some damage. We will actually manage to get a perfect round, all 5 members surviving, just completely shut you out. So Fnatic, they're going to have to, I mean, sometimes they do show this sometimes. I mean, it happens when you're the best in the world. I mean, when you know, you're basically winning everything. You can underestimate players sometimes. They just need to not fall into that trap and start getting their heads in the game early on here in the half.
Well, look at this out in the middle. Fnatic for a moment forgetting that there's such a thing as mid-control. Now they're going to be fighting close. Crims missing all the shots here. JW in a world of trouble, but only for a second because Adren puts a bullet in his head, and now it's going to be Olofmeister and Dennis left 2 versus 5. Liquid overrunning, and look at that shot from Simple taking down Olofmeister. It's going to be up to Dennis in a 1-on-5, so obviously just trying to save the rifle at this point here, but that's a very, very fast round, just straight out middle, and what we call the sort of the mid to B split push coming out. So it has a lot of different variations, and so it's always fun to try and look at how teams do it. This one is a very fast one. You could do it late in the game if you want to. And it does also, there's a sort of a difference between if you put 3 members out middle or 3 members in upper dark. You got to sort of, that all goes into what you think the setup is or what kind of information you have. If you do it late in the game, you obviously get more information. This was essentially just sort of like a blind throw nearly from Liquid. You know, maybe they had some middle from how many people had crossed in the beginning, because you see that from T-Spawn, right? So they had some count on how many people were in B, but they just went for it.
But that's the key point here, is the change of pace coming in from Liquid. They're just going in, no fear. They're saying, okay, guys, you know, if you're going to disrespect us, you know, you pissed us off now. You know, don't poke the bear, because they just managed to get in there and just completely overrun the defense. And now, I mean, this is really going to put a bit of a check on Fnatic's mental game. Now Fnatic are going to have to get their heads into the game here in the next one, and that's tough if Liquid, starts to gain steam.
And just got to point out again, it is Adren top fragging right now on Liquid, and
he's revived right now.
He's revived to a state that we haven't even seen him in Global Offensive. You have to go back to a different version of Counter-Strike to see Adren playing this way, I feel like. And this is actually mad, isn't it? Hiko going to be picking off Crims, and this, as you said, around with no armor here for Fnatic, so it should be a walk in the park. I say that especially because they have USPS pistols. If they had upgraded CZ 75, especially if Flusha had one, I would still be worried. No matter what, pretty much.
Flusha's the best CZ player in the world.
Yes.
I think I said it earlier when Cold was doing work as well. Cold also really solid with the USP and the CZ. But Flusha, he always seems to get something out of that pistol. He'll actually prioritize the CZ75 over rifles in quasi-buy situations, force buy situations. So I mean, something to take into account. But he does manage to find 1 kill in the end. 2 kills total so far for Fnatic, and that's as far as it's going to get. Adren.
Well, he was sandwiched. He was actually sandwiched in between Olofmeister and Flusha there. So that he could have. I mean, that was already slightly expensive round. It could have been worse there. So good job again on Adren. I feel like 5-4. Liquid are starting to make their way back. We did actually get a camera shot of us in the beginning, Semler, but I mean, I put a little something on my jacket just as a
just wait for the halftime.
Just as a way to sort of show a little bit of support, maybe.
I know. Unbiased commentary. That's us.
That's important. It's obviously important. Oh, tagging up JW as well. It's not too bad. That can definitely help out later on if he gets grenaded on in that B-bomb site.
Right now I'm really liking the variety that we're seeing from Team Liquid as well as far as their approach. They just keep changing up the sites. They're constantly going A, B, A, B. Like, they aren't just focusing on one site and becoming too predictable, where Fnatic can start, cheating a little bit, getting an extra man over there early just to wait for Liquid. If Liquid, for example, were just kept going A. No, Liquid, they're definitely keeping Fnatic on their toes. They're going for A splits, A long plays, B splits. Like, they're really showing some depth to their playbook. So I'm liking this a lot. So far, I mean, a very strong showing, the best showing that we've seen so far from a North American team, but I'm not going to curse him.
No, definitely don't do that. It's too soon, Semler. I'm not a fan of Crim's position over the B-bomb site, but it looks like he's not going to be put under any pressure right now, but he's standing in that car corner, and I just don't think it's a good idea anymore. JW covering the middle with Flusha sort of there as well. They got a bit of a crossfire going on through CT spawn, so definitely don't want to lose that mid control again. But a very, very sort of I think a common setup here for Fnatic, except for Crim's position. Flashing coming through, they're jumping down into CT spawn. In fact, Nitro and Flusha right next to each other, and Flusha going to have the better angle there. Goes down right afterwards to Elige, though, and JW in that corner. That's not a good position either, but he's going to get the 1 kill before he goes down. Now it's all on Crims, and look at how many angles he has to cover, and he goes down immediately. Adren actually jumping off the box to get that kill, and Olof and Dennis, they are going to be left. And in a way, I'm happy that Crims got tested, because I really don't think that's a good corner to be in.
No, it's like a one and done kind of situation. It's very rare that we see players pick up more than 1 kill from that spot, because you're just, not only do you have to worry about somebody coming over the top of the box, but then usually they'll time it so they come around and they have a man coming below the box as well. So you just get overwhelmed so easily. Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's also just like Crims was the last line of defense there for Fnatic. Such a sick change up there, putting the man into CT. You could tell from Flusha. Flusha thought, okay, they dropped a man into CT. They're going to be coming up catwalk and pushing up onto A site, so he's already pre-aiming that angle. What's this? They come through mid. There wasn't even a smoke blocking off mid. Flusha was completely caught off guard with that play. So again, Liquid just showing that they have some variety in their play. It's really catching the Fnatic off guard. And it's teaching Fnatic not to underestimate them.
And I just want to follow up on that, because you made a really good point about the smoke in CT spawn. Just for anyone watching in, for new players, that if that smoke goes off in CT spawn, that's usually a big signifier that a B push is coming. And if you're in the CT side and you see the smoke going up to CT spawn, you know, and we'll point it out if it happens in the game here. But it's obviously that didn't happen, and you're right. That's probably threw them off a little bit there. Simple with a strong early frag coming out, and again, Fnatic back to well, they're forced up with pistol armor this time. And again, we got to point out, especially Flusha, who actually has a deal this time instead, but he is a very good pistol player nonetheless.
Yeah, just a variety of pistols with Flusha. He can get the job done regardless. But yeah, Simple, I mean, not a whole lot of action for Simple. He's kind of floating around the mid of the pack as far as the frags are concerned right now, but still nothing to be ashamed of. It's kind of Nitro who's, struggling, but then again, he usually gets, forced into the blender first, to get that info for his teammates as the entry fragger. So, we'll see how he develops here. He also had a bit of a slow start on the map yesterday that Liquid played. Woke up in the second half, so he's definitely not done and out. But let's see. I mean, now Liquid, once again, they have that long control. And Fnatic, they're starting to they're starting to feel this out, it looks like, because they've rotated everybody off of that B site.
Look at the smoke that's going to go up here. Very interesting from Nitro. So they've definitely prepared well for Dust 2, and as our analyst pointed out, playing Dust 2 against Fnatic could be really dangerous, but oh, and a shot from Flusher, getting the one, looking for more, but they're going to shut him down. Dennis getting a big opening here, but not connecting, it seems, with almost anything, and Crims, he wishes dearly that someone would have walked in front of him so he could get a rifle at least, but Liquid just keeping things very, very smooth right now. You start off a match like this being down against Fnatic, you have to be feeling a tremendous amount of pressure. And right now, they're playing like a really well-oiled team. I'm not sure I understand why or how.
I wish I could see one of the screens of the Fnatic players right now, because Flush is like madly typing on his keyboard. So there's a bit of a discussion going on right now for the Swedes between Dennis and Flusher by the looks of it.
Flusher typing in Swedish, of course. Yeah. You know, how long before we shut them down? Should we give them a bit more? No, I'm just joking. But we've seen this before from Fnatic, haven't we?
I was kidding around with Flusher as well. You know, like, how are you watching Existence? Are you listening? Are you taking notes on how to call? He's like, well, no. I just tell Wolfmeister to go and wreck them, and then it happens. It's just like, there you go.
Easiest job.
That's kind of what I told her. I was like, yeah, this is how you call it. He's just like, oh, well, I call stuff and it works. And I'm just like, well, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Apart from when your team underestimates your opponents and, you know, you start to let them get a little bit of the ball rolling for themselves.
Well, there should be a wake-up call to Fnatic, right? They've lost 5 rounds in a row here. Now they go for the double up setup. Not going to be a connect this time for Simple. He re-peaks and still not lecking anybody. Instead, JW returning in. Great job from our server, just instantly catching that.
Yeah. Straight default, but like, look at this. There's a change of pace here again. leaugue, he's going to get that CT smoke down, and it's going to catch JW completely off guard. They were already out mid-doors when he's going for the re-peak, and now this puts a lot of pressure on Crims. He's caught in a tough spot. He needs to win that duel versus leaugue, and he's not going to do it because in the back of his head, he's thinking, somebody's going to be pushing from upper dark. I have a couple of seconds to be able to pick up a kill here to make it easier for my team to go into the retake, and it just doesn't happen. He can't deliver, and Crims is usually so consistent, so really surprising to see that happen with him. Pico right now just eviscerating the defense. And Adren decides to finally step in and have his say.
Wow, that's a dangerous peak from Adren, but I mean, it's really well timed with Hiko's peak as well. And the fact that they had Hiko there to begin with just gives them such a big chance. So Flusher stealing an AWP, running away. We're about to see a 6th round in a row here for the Liquid team. This is unprecedented. Not many teams anywhere in the world are allowed to do this against Fnatic on Dust 2. It's very, very impressive.
I'm just wondering, man. We've seen Fnatic drop down from that first seed in the group stages before. Usually, you know, took the piss a little bit out of them. You know, just saying, hey, you know, you like to wreck brackets. You know, you should be getting first seed, but you come in through second, and then you go up against like Envy or something, right, in the first quarterfinal. It's like, no. You know that GIF that goes around on the internet. No. Come on, Vasha. Come on, Fnatic. They are the heavy favorites in this match.
Yeah, I mean, almost in any match, you would say. At least they're favorites. Not always heavy, but they are always favorites in this tournament. So here's the thing, though. I mean, again, I want to point out, I think Fnatic are one of these teams that on the T side, they're going to be so incredibly hard to control for Liquid. And because they also have Adren playing instead of sort of their regular player, playing CT sides is always more difficult with a stand-in. So they should be doing better on T side anyway, Liquid. I don't think Fnatic need more than 6 rounds for this to be working out. And they got 5, so I don't want to sort of like take the wind out of anyone's sails here, but I do think that Fnatic are essentially a round away from being able to say, yeah, that was all we needed this round or this half.
Liquid they still are miles away. I mean, obviously, you can't count a team like Fnatic out until you have 16 rounds on the board and you've won the map. So it's as simple as that. Fnatic, they have that NIP quality from way back in the day when NIP were the same. You know, they could be down 10, 12 rounds and a half and still just, you know, work their way back, grind out the map, and get the win in the end. That was
what we just saw is sort of the accumulation of a lot of hours played, because that angle that Flush is holding is that's like a 1 in 10,000, and the fact that Simple is sort of ready for it, and the fact that Flusher even sort of is realizing that might have happened is just really odd. No, people don't normally walk on the back line there. It's so that happens every once in a while, but then just I don't know. That was a lot of time that you just saw in something that didn't even result in a kill. But if you've been watching a lot of Counter-Strike, that might have been interesting to watch for you. All right, Crimson JW outside of the B-bomb site, and obviously they've got no method really of getting in this round. unless they were going to walk into Flusher and he could have got a couple of kills, is more about holding on to the AWP for Flusher and make sure they don't lose it in this round. It looks like they
See
won't.
that. Exactly. Flusher's all the way back in CT on CT slope. So he's just waiting around. He's going to see if somebody gets greedy on Liquid's side, if they're going to push out onto B slope, or if they're going to show themselves at the door. He does get a sick wallbang headshot onto Nitro. But then, you know, Crim's just hoping to do a little bit more damage here. If he can pick up one kill, this would be pretty sweet. Actually, Hiko kind of stuck behind Big Red. Hiko, though, instant headshot on a Crims. And JW, he's going to have to back off, give ground. He's got that CZ75, so if he can hold on to that, it wouldn't be too shabby for him in the next round. Or he'll just die with the bomb.
He does have 13,000, and 2 of the people on Liquid at the beginning of this round have 16,000. So Liquid are not going to be ecoing, obviously, for the remainder of this half. Not that there's much left, but we're at 8 and 5 right now. What? Look at how mad this is. We're at 8 and 5 with Nitro killing 3 members, right? So three kills. So we really have almost no kills for Nitro, and yet they're doing very well. Adren's still top fragging. Then Hiko and Simple, and we're going to go into the 14th round here. Scoreline being, of course, 8-5. Simple going to get the kill, crossing in the middle on JW. And what a start it is. Adren charging middle with the AK in hand, and Olofmeister's going to hear that, but there's so many members here. Olaf spraying wildly. He goes down. Nitro gets a kill on Dennis, and now it's down to Crims and Flusher here. Team Liquid, just what are we witnessing? Flusher and Crims are going to try and bring it back here. There's still a man down, and they've lost the bomb site. It's going to be a bomb plant, and here's what it is as well. They've got 2 smokes and a Molotov left to buy time. So Fnatic, retaking from short against all these grenades, it's just not going to be easy.
It's almost impossible. Because now they've got the info. Okay, Flush is up here. There's the incendiary going down. That's going to force Hiko out. But no, he decides to cancel it out with a smoke. And Fnatic, I think, are realizing at this point, unless somebody makes a huge mistake on Liquid's side, if somebody peeks out and tries to challenge them, there's the angle there on that smoke. But Nitro's going to be able to get out onto long. It's all about Liquid making a mistake at this point. This should be an impossible situation for them to lose. And there we go. Hiko takes out Crims, and Nitro catches Flusha looking the wrong way. Perfectly done there by Liquid, just committing to the cat push, getting up onto that site. And they just keep, they keep Fnatic guessing at this point because Fnatic right now, I think they were trying to push onto Cat, really trying to take the fight to him to get into mid and to try and challenge like the lower dark default kind of play that could come out from Liquid, that Liquid have been favoring. Because Liquid, over the last 8 rounds, have just been switching A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B. They finally went BB. Keeping a list, obviously. But they finally decided to like break that chain. It's just so difficult right now for Fnatic to figure out the pattern.
Oh, look at this. It's a 15th round, last of the half. They use all their money to buy AWPs so that they can challenge Flusher in the middle. And what a start here. Both JW and Flusher already out of the round. We could be looking at a 10-5 first half here, and Adren picking up 1 more kill. Fnatic just feeding themselves to the Liquid meat grinder in the middle, and Crims and Dennis. Yeah, look at Crims. Is that like the Counter-Strike equivalent of a shrug? Just
basically.
It's MLG, right? 360 and all that stuff.
He's feeling the vibe, although I was pretty disappointed. I walked into the player area earlier, you know, in the kitchen, right, where they've got that big basket full of chips, and I had a hankering, Anders.
Yeah.
But I was here on MLG home turf, and there was not a single pack of Doritos to be found. I can't tell you how disappointed I was.
They were here on the first day, so someone must have been going mad on those chips. I don't know what's up.
Not even
one.
Not even the cheese, the cheddar one, man. I was looking for Cool Ranch, obviously, because that's the best chip
I'm
in
sure
existence.
I'm sure we can get someone to look into that. But look at that, Dennis charging out here. Just way too many members of Liquid coming up. They have so many bodies to throw at him if they needed to. And Crims in a 1-on-3 for the final round of this half. And just not enough health, I think, to have an impact here. Tries to go for a bit of a shot there, but yeah, this is just a very, very well played first half for Liquid. And Fnatic, they've got to be just a bit worried here. If they lose the upcoming pistol round, things are going to get weird. Hiko with a headshot to finish it. And we are looking at a 10-5 scoreline here with Adren and Hiko tied for the top frags at 15 kills each.
Yeah, fantastic work. I mean, yeah, Adren, dude, where did this Adren come from? I mean, we expect that from Hiko, but for Adren to be up there neck and neck with him, Simple with 13 as well.
I mean, we talked about it. They talked about it a bit on the desk. You know, Richard was saying just the pressure being off. He's thrown out of the team, and now no more pressure. Just playing exactly the game that he wants to play here.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very impressive. Now you said unbiased casting is important, Samler, and all that stuff, and everyone was favoring Fnatic, obviously, going into it, and I have to agree. But I still thought I had to sort of just give a little bit of hope there. And I'm not saying that's what made the difference, but you can make up your own minds at home. Definitely important.
Okay, so in the interest of balance, right? Because obviously that pin, it carries weight, right? There's something there. I'm going to go ahead and balance everything out here on the caster desk and say that Liquid are going to win this, Anders.
Oh, wow.
I went there.
Thanks, Samler.
I went there. Now balance is restored, though, bro. You're going to say you got the pin.
Yeah, but we know what
happens. But I've
happens.
got the caster curse.
We know
let's see what happens. Let's see what happens first.
If balance is restored, obviously Fnatic are going to go ham here as well. That's how it works, right?
T-side, man. T-side Fnatic on Dust 2.
What kind of an American are you?
I'm the one that wins, man. I get to go French or American. I'm an honorary Swede. Like, you know.
All right.
I never lose.
You never lose anything. All right. Well, you know, I guess we'll see. Look, when you're playing the best team in the world, what you said earlier, it's really not over until it's over. You've got to carry it all the way through. We've seen Fnatic make comebacks from a scoreline that is way more ridiculous than this. They've been much further behind and still come back and won games. So you got to be careful here. We've got a bit of a replay actually as we're setting up for the upcoming half here.
Hiko literally just made a kissy face at me.
Really? Mm-hmm. Not at me though. I'm
the bro.
Wow.
The bro is here. We got the replay. I mean, this is a very clear cut. This was basically just completely cutting Fnatic's legs out from under them. They were on the edge of picking up that 6th round. Didn't pan out, but I did see Liquid talking quite a bit. Hiko obviously taking point right now because he's calling the shots. But this is all going to be about the mental fortitude here for Liquid. They need to keep zeroed in on the fact, and it's just one round at a time at this point. They can't. The only team they have a big lead now going into this second half. So it's all about them just maintaining focus and not letting the nerve jitters, like the jitters of closing this match, get to them. Because Fnatic, they will thrive in that sort of scenario.
Look at this stuff here. That smoke that goes off on the headshot box in the middle normally would make Liquid wonder if anyone's catwalk, but they already have Nitro to check it out. So this is a lot of counter sort of play coming out from Liquid. They know Fnatic aren't playing here, so they can sort of refocus, go out and see if they can take a fight somewhere else, and look like it's going to be long. Adren all the way in the back here, USPS in hand, goes for a bit of a fight, and that might be too much. Yeah, time to just call in the cavalry and wait for everybody else to show up. Fnatic going to try and see if they can make the cross, but already Adren picking up the kill on Crims. That bomb actually almost dropped into the cross, and that would have been horrendous for the Swedish team.
And he keeps peeking. Adren is crazy right now. He keeps peeking. Perfect timing with the smoke, and there was just that gap. He was able to spot out Crims just barely there in the gap in the smoke, and now Nitro peeks out onto short. He picks up the info, spots 1, 2, and he sees the 2, and he's doing big damage, but he's not able to pick up the kill, and they need to fall back. They're in risk here of just getting completely overrun, but Adren just comes out of nowhere and gets another 2 kills in the pistol. What is this? You can't shut this guy down. 3 kills, 3 HP, Half-Life 3 confirmed. It's a Valve major, Anders.
I can't even believe it. It's absolutely unreal. Adren has just turned out to be some kind of Counter-Strike god after being ridiculed pretty much for a very long time. Dennis going to try and see if he can 1v4 this with a Glock and 18 health, and I can already tell you that is not going to happen with 18 seconds left here. Trying to see if he can make it around the corner and at least maybe pick up a couple of kills here, but Liquid going to be picking up the pistol round on the second half. There's simply not enough time for Dennis to do this round, so now they're just charging him in. He gets the 1 kill in, but he can't even make it to the bomb side to put the bomb down, so there it is. It's going to be 11-5 in favor of Liquid, and Fnatic don't get the bomb plant either. Well, it's a good shot at least, and very important that he doesn't die in the last second here. That would be the worst of all possible sort of worlds, but there's a strong chance now that we are going to be seeing a 13-5 scoreline, Liquid over Fnatic.
So sick. That firing squad that was just waiting there for Liquid, and then they just don't even peek. They don't even give Dennis a chance. Liquid are playing on a totally different level from what we were expecting going into this match. We were expecting Fnatic to just completely maul them. And instead, it's Liquid, the horse. They're stamping Fnatic into the ground.
You say we, but I want to be kept out of this.
Okay, fair enough. I live in reality, Anders. Right now, this is a dream world that we're witnessing here.
It absolutely is. This is very, very far removed from reality, but somehow seems to be happening anyway. Fnatic, as a response, and I don't want to call it sort of a desperation move. I think Fnatic are far too skilled and far too experienced to get desperate at an 11-5 scoreline. But definitely it's a sort of way of saying, let's take this game back right now. They buy scouts, they buy Deagle and armor and everything else, just to try and see if they could get away with just a little bit of a trick there. I mean, they're jumping over the smoke, getting a bit of a tag in. Simple and Adren both on about half health.
They just aren't quite finding it because it's a bit of a fair trade. Fnatic getting tagged down. Olafmeister, he's waiting to see if Nitro's crouching. Is Nitro going to have any help? There is a bit of a bait. That's Elige holding up on Catwalk, trying to draw attention to himself so that Nitro can find the timing to peek out. But Fnatic Once Olafmeister gets up there, he clears it up. He spots the man on catwalk. Now he's just going to be calling to his mates, okay, there may be a quick rotation coming in, but Dennis managing to find Hiko. That's huge. Now the wave begins. Now Fnatic begin to rush onto the B site. 4 players are going to go crashing in there. Olafmeister is dead, so it's down to the remaining 4 players here for Fnatic to lock down this site and set up the after plan.
4 on 4, you're absolutely right. They're coming in 2 up a dark. Flusher has to stay alive. He has to get a kill. He's going to get the headshot there. That's a massive kill in the round. Nitro going to be going down. Elise trying to get up from behind. He hits a headshot on Dennis, and Flusher is still alive there. Crims in the back line. It's into a 2-on-2. They've got time to defuse, but they need to get on this side, and it's all on Leash. And Fnatic now simply running out of the bomb side and making sure that Leash has a really tough time finding the last couple of kills. And he won't. Crims picking up a 3rd in the round. Beautiful play here from Fnatic, and very, very smartly done. Soon as Hiko goes down, and I think Hiko could be blamed, I think, for a little bit of impatience there. You see, sort of, he was just hiding in the corner, and he thought, I should go and check up a dark.
Exactly.
And that instantly sort of throws around. I do want to get, I mean, you've been crediting Adren all day here, but I do want to credit Adren for not taking the fight in window. If he crouches and just sprays with the FAMAS, he dies almost 100% of the time, and then the round is lost immediately. We do have 4 HE grenades, Samla. I'm loving this.
Yeah, where are they going to go? It looks like a few of them are going to go in through Longhouse. JW. Just far enough away, and now he's going to be able to spot Adren getting across the gap as well. Not going to get punished. That HE instead goes in, but they do manage to back off just in time to avoid taking the damage there, Liquid. Still a couple of HEs left, however, in the arsenal. So Hiko and Nitro, we'll see whether they decide to use those. Simple has got his scout as well, and he's just posted up on that B site, so nobody is there to greet him so far. Instead of Fnatic actually go through this choke point, if they decide to rush up catwalk, things could get nasty here.
Flusher landing some decent headshots, it seemed. For just a brief second, I thought that was Dennis with the jumping Galil, but not going to be the case this time. Nitro trying to put out some damage, and Simple got a scout kill in the back lines here. Again, any little kill is going to be vital, even if they are going to find a hard time winning this round. Oh, what? No scope, jumping scout on Flusher. And now it's all on Hiko. They've got very little health. 1 bullet on either one is going to work, but he gets aim punched. He can't find the kill just yet. Turning around for it. He knows that Crims is up there. He's in a sandwich. He has to get some sort of absolutely miraculous kill. He's being shot in the back. He himself is now on 6 health, and they've got him boxed in very well right now. Takes the jump a 3rd time, and that's going to be the end of it. Fnatic will only barely win this round, which is going to be a bit scary, isn't it?
Yeah, but those sorts of situations are where Fnatic excel, right? You see the mind games coming in as well, where JW, he shows himself on long, and then he takes advantage of the smoke to work his way up onto the A site. There to just buddy system with Crims. Hiko, he didn't stand much of a chance in that sort of scenario.
Yeah, but because of how low JW was, if Hiko hits the first shot, then Hiko has a really, really, really good chance of winning that fight. He almost certainly wins the last 1v1, right? So that, I don't know, that was just a very, very frightening round.
Way
But
too close for comfort, at least.
a little bit too close. Now they're in a pretty good position, I would say. Fnatic should make this 11-8. And if you just told me, hey, let's start a game on Dust 2, scoreline 11-8, Fnatic with 8 rounds, Liquid on 11. How many times do Fnatic win that scenario? I'd say like 9 times out of 10.
Yes.
I think that they're just that good of a team.
Yes. No, this is well within Fnatic's comfort zone still. And so Liquid, I mean, winning the pistol, that would have been that's magnificent, right? If they could have just carried on, got that 3-round buffer before Fnatic were able to afford to go for a big buy round, that would have changed a lot. Now, instead, it's just Fnatic regaining control of the situation. Dennis will get caught out. So Nitro finds a headshot on him, and we'll see if he's actually able to pick up that AK. He will, but Olafmeister's posted up in Upper Dark. And so Nitro, he's boxed in. JW is going to find him. He herds him up, but he doesn't actually need Olafmeister's help in this scenario. He wins that fight straight up, saves the AK. So everything works out perfectly here for Fnatic. A much more clean round here in the anti-eco.
Yeah, absolutely. Their money's looking pretty decent on the Fnatic side. Obviously, Liquid going to be sort of using all their money in this round to make it work. Simple with the AWP. And I must say, he looked pretty consistent in the first half. We didn't see like the most ridiculously flashy shots that he really can do, but I'd much rather have consistency. He's going to have to step up big now. And Olafmeister with the AWP with the spawn for long. Going to try and see if he could run for it, but he's not going to find anyone there.
No, actually, Team Liquid, they were focused a little bit more on catwalk, it seems. Maybe a moment's hesitation on their part as far as what the plan was. Because now they don't have long, and Alicia's going to work his way up to Cat to try and take a little bit of a peek. But they're kind of in the dark here, Liquid, so this is a little scary for them. They're all just kind of bunched up, and then they finally decide, okay, maybe push up onto Cat, but it's only going to be the single man. That's Alicia taking the peek there. What is going on with the defense? They're all over the place.
Yeah, they definitely are. Nitro getting tagged up a bit, not too much. He's going to be all right. In this position, you could see him looking through the box here. He wants to sort of notice and set up and maybe shoot someone coming middle for a B split, right? And I don't know if I'm a big fan of this. Leaugue's going to be forced out and just not a chance there. At that point, you might as well just sit in the fire and try and get a straight trade. There's no point in trying to like do more than that and ruin your recoil as a result. But this, I don't know what Liquid are going to do here because they've already lost the bomb site, whether they know it or not. Unless they can get 2 kills before the bomb goes down, I think they might as well just save immediately.
Simple still got that up, but he's looking towards mid. He's not looking towards the long cross. He's counting on his teammates with the rifles to do the work there, and it's just not going to happen. HE sailing into CT, doing some damage as well, and Fnatic, they will get that bomb plant. It's a favorable plant for them as well. And yeah, I mean, this is the correct choice to make, though, right, Anders? I mean, you don't have much money to go off of right now. It's actually, you know, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, so you actually have to hold on to all these rifles, or you're on a hard eco in the next round. So Liquid are making the only choice that they really have. Back off, try to save the guns, and hope to be able to stop Fnatic in the next one. Olafmeister, though, yeah, just you give him any sort of opportunity, and he's going to make you look bad.
And he spotted the second place, so he already knew that someone was going to be closer as well. Adren goes down in the middle, so this project of saving what rifles are left really not working out too well. Simple gets a kill. JW turning around. He actually gets both those kills. Nitro, he just missed his opportunity by a second there. So that is going to be another round for Fnatic, making it 11-9 and moving into the 21st round here. Liquid without money to buy, predictably. I mean, I don't know what they could have done differently that round. That 1 kill on Catwalk, because it wasn't traded. If it was traded,
that was the beauty of it, right?
Then it would have been something.
The angles, Fnatic, because they throw that Molotov, they know he has nowhere to go but forward. And so they don't even peek to allow for the guy who's holding up on Catwalk to get a refrag. They don't even show themselves. There's just no hope at all for Liquid in that scenario. And now, well, this is turning into a bit of an eco beatdown. Nitro trying to do the best that he can, but the HC's going to dunk him. Dennis manages to pick him off, and Dennis just going ham right now on long. That leaves Simple alone over on the B site. So Fnatic, they keep total control of the situation in the end. They have the rifles, they have all the utility. They don't actually have to spend. They don't actually have to use anything. So it's almost a free round for Fnatic, just money in the bank.
Simple, yeah. I mean, right now, absolute best case for him is that they come and hunt him, and he gets a kill, steals a rifle, and makes it out of the round alive. You know, that's the best that could really happen right now.
And they don't even really need to aggressively hunt Fnatic because they know now that this was pretty much a hard eco out of Liquid. And so there's absolutely no reason to aggressively hunt and try and get something off of Simple. Don't risk donating him an AK. Just take your time, check your angles, make sure you're going to survive the bomb blast.
Now, the one thing is that Liquid have sort of on average about 2,300 or something in the bank. And because this is going to be the 5th round they lose in a row, they will have a hell of a lot of money going into the next round. They could really buy pretty much anything they want. So we're going to see if that's going to make a difference. I don't know if they would risk
really,
going
JW?
for... Of course. It's always...
He's like, come on, man.
I really wanted that. Well, so I don't know if they're going to risk going for the double up setup. There might be a change. Once that Fnatic made, Adren has just picked up one, and you could maybe guess that Simple would go for the second one.
Let's see. Oh, this is the JW
talking about
mad 180 spray, single spray.
They still haven't bought that second up yet. There we go.
There
So
it is.
there was a big conversation there. Whenever it takes that long for someone to buy, you know there's a sort of an internal discussion of the team. Should we do this? Shouldn't we? And they are going to go for the double up setup. Something that has brought many CT sides out of trouble on this particular map. And JW, though, he's going to be shutting down Leaugue, who, from beyond the grave, takes down Olafmeister. Fire and everything.
Yeah, that was super sick. Olaf just fully committed to that fight. And so a fair trade at long, 4v4, and now Fnatic, I mean, they have the bomb in Upper Dark. They have 3 players there as well, very quickly. So I'm curious to see if they're going to try and change things up, change the pace, and try and push. I mean, Hiko's lying up in the cut really close to the entrance to Upper Dark. He's going to be counting on Simple to draw attention to himself onto that B site. And basically, I mean, just that element of surprise. He set an ambush, and he's just hoping that Fnatic will walk into it.
This works well as long as then no one's coming middle, which we could tell JW is. And if JW is allowed to sort of walk out, if Adren doesn't catch him up from the A bomb site, then suddenly the setup that they have, which I think is a good one, but it has a lot less potency, basically. Simple looking towards mid, and Hiko still hiding in the corner. No one spotted him yet. He's actually walking under them. They're already inside. They've killed Simple. There's Hiko spraying one. He continues. He gets a second, and that might actually just bring it back enough that they could win this round. They got 45 seconds here. JW going into the middle. He takes out Adren. It's a really good crouch peek in there. And Nitro, well, this would be the clutch of the match, I think, if he can make this work. A very, very important round here for Team Liquid. And Nitro, he hasn't had the best game. Probably one of the worst games he's had in a while, actually, and he's just going to make it out. He feels like saving the AWP, and he might not be wrong either. It's the better choice.
Yeah, I can guarantee you that Adren is, if not double scoped, he's just scoped on doors. And so JW's coming like under the scope.
Yeah.
Just free kill for him. Brutal start, really. And Hiko, that's so unfortunate that, I mean, he gets the 2 kills, but it's just not enough. He doesn't have enough of an impact because Simple just gets swamped right at the start.
Yeah, and you know, because Simple is looking at the doors and because obviously JW hadn't even pushed in there, Simple probably already makes the call to Adren and says, no one came middle. They all came from upper, right? So because simply, oh, nice shot from Nitro. That is really important. But because they simply didn't have the information, they were always going to be caught off guard by JW being there. So just, it's nobody's fault exactly. It's not like Simple could have known, but sometimes having not enough information could really hurt you.
And we're seeing the replay here of Hiko crouched in the corner. Crims realizes that they haven't checked this spot. Yeah, exactly. He turns around, but it's not fast enough. Hiko gets that element of surprise going. But that also just says, you know, how consistent Crims is. Even in the chaos, even in the rush, he will still actually, you know, be like, oh, wait. Hold on, there's like a mental map going on where all the spots, you know, that they've looked light up as green, and he's like, wait a second, there's a red spot right here. Hold on, we got to check that real quick. And Hiko's just like, surprise! Like, yeah, hey, Hiko.
I think right now, if you're a Team Liquid fan, you're gonna have to like really, you know, show some love in the chat. I mean, they need it right now, similar. They got to be sweating bullets here. This is turned into a really ugly match.
Yeah, it's 6 rounds in a row right now for Fnatic. And I mean, and this all off of Liquid actually winning the pistol.
Yeah.
So how frustrating for Liquid right now. And it's good that they actually elect to go for the pause. And it is, yes, it is Liquid going for their tactical pause. But I mean, they're not letting it get too far out of control. They've lost 6 rounds in a row, but they're not out of the map yet. If they can turn things around here, they do have just enough to go for the force. I mean, if they can turn things around here, it's still not over yet, but it's getting pretty close. There's a lot of pressure now mounting on them.
But in the rounds they have lost, they have also not sort of done enough damage to Fnatic that Fnatic are on the brink of ecoing or anything like that. So Liquid would have to win not just 1 round, but they'd have to win like, you know, 2 or 3 rounds in a row here. They'd have to make this sort of 11-14, and then they could probably just like walk it home, you know?
It can't get any harder for them right now because of the bank that's on Fnatic. By the time that Fnatic are like eco range, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, round bonus plus bomb plants, we're full buying anyways, right? So it's just not going to be easy at all for Liquid to close out the remaining 5 rounds here to, you know, that they would need to actually get a win. What they do, though, Anders, you get a couple rounds, let Fnatic win again, reset their economy, you know.
Keep going.
Just think that way, right? You know.
I'd like to see maybe a bit of a switch up. Like we saw Fnatic do it with the sort of the walking into upper dark to get some control, right?
Sure.
Because what we're really seeing here is that anytime Fnatic is allowed to put an execute in, those B bombs that executes have been really, really good, right? So as soon as they get enough map control to set up the smokes and the grenades and everything else, things work out quite smoothly for the Swedish team. So if you take some map control, especially maybe upper dark, you take a lot of that away from them, right? You make sure they can't do that. And I'd love to see something like that from Liquid here. Instead of letting Fnatic dictate the pace of the map here. Olafmeister, again with the long spawn, but this time he doesn't really connect with anything. So we're going to see Dennis fast out the middle. The bomb is still in T-spawn, but they're actually rushing and trying to see if they can sandwich this B-bomb site. What is this push from Fnatic? Dennis, no one knows that he's here, and he's going to pick up the one shot in Simple. Being caught in the corner, he's got a UMP as well. It's the worst possible weapon to try and defend, but he still picks up a kill anyway and turns around. What? Simple takes down Flusher as well. That is really not supposed to happen.
No, that is definitely 100% not supposed to happen. Through the smoke, Flusher just hoping to get lucky, and he gives away his position. He was already tagged up earlier as well from Hiko.
There's something wrong with Simple.
They're so low right now. I mean, Anders, they're not out of the woods here. Liquid, 15 HP on a leash. Simple with 17. I mean, they've taken some heavy damage. So if Fnatic, they decide to group up, it can get nasty. The only problem here is that you have 2 AWPs on Fnatic. That doesn't make for fast play. I mean, JW with the CZ, Olaf with the P250. I mean, they can still be quick on their feet here if they want.
The other thing is, Liquid are entirely out of grenades, and Fnatic have so many. So if it comes into an afterplant, then I think Fnatic will have it. They got to stop them before they get onto a bomb site. And right now, we can tell they're not even in position to. Adren is going back here, and that might be big. If he gets the opening frag, then it should be a home run here for Liquid. And instead, are they actually going to commit to this? They got about 30 seconds. Look like they will. It's all going to be an Adren. Flashbang goes in. One them to jump down into CT spawn. Adren, nice flick to take down JW, and he gets a second on Olafmeister. Adren has really turned up here. And look at this. Crims, he has to run up onto Catwalk, pick up the bomb, and go back, and he can't do it. Leash will shut him down, and that's going to be a round for Liquid. 12-11. The first one, or actually, sorry, the second one that they're going to get in this second half of the map. Adren has got 20 kills. He's tied with Dennis for the top. For the top of the lead here. This is incredible. What a game this is.
Let's wait and see. I mean, yeah, just Adren. I'm just so impressed with his level right now. Of course, he just walks into a one headshot here from Crims, but still, he does everything that's needed from him and more. It would have been fine if he just got one kill, fell back to long, allowed them to plant. You could have played like that, but him just getting 2 kills wins the round for his team. And now look at this, the change of pace from Fnatic again. They went aggressive last round. Now they're going straight up, straight B rush, and they can have a chance of resetting Liquid's economy. There's so much pressure now on the North American team to get the job done and hold, but it's just not going to happen. The bomb will get planted here for Fnatic.
Hiko, one more bullet on Flusher, and he would have at least had the double kill. That would have put them in a 3-on-3. We talked earlier about how hard it is to retake the B bomb side. And Fnatic still have 2 Molotovs. They could buy oceans of time. They're then just going to be running away. Hiko, that's a perfect choice here. There's nothing else that they could do right now. So what an aggressive push coming out. I think if Hiko had got the double, they would have probably thought, we're going to risk it and try and retake. But 4 versus 3, maybe they didn't know how low Flusher was already. And with all the grenades up, it's just not worth it. I do want to point out, and I hope we're not sort of focusing too much on this, but sort of the irony and almost the tragedy of watching Adren play over the last sort of year or more has been that he's all the time kept up this super cool YouTube channel where he does all these like great strategy breakdowns, shows that he has a really deep understanding of the game, and everyone keeps saying, you know all this about it. Why aren't you playing this way? You know, you're giving all this great advice out, and it is good advice. But he just hasn't been able to sort of do it himself.
Translate it into the game.
Yeah, there's been some sort of disconnect there, right?
And it's also, I mean, it's something that's also been worth mentioning by the desk. It looks like we have just a straight pause this time. So not a tactical pause, might be just maybe a mouse problem, maybe just a peripheral problem. But that'll get sorted out quickly, I'm sure, by the admins. But it's the fact that he's been the butt of like many jokes, and a couple of the outspoken analysts who have really taken it to him, Richard and Thorn, they're on the analyst desk right now. They are prepping for this match, but they have been good enough to recognize, like, actually this is a totally different Adren that we've been seeing. He stepped up yesterday. I'm sure they're going to say that he stepped up massively in this match, and they they're not just like, they don't have like that axe to grind where they aren't going to recognize what they're seeing in the matches in front of them. They are going to say that Adren.
I feel like we've all had our sort of a punch at Adren, and we've been looking at the high life. It's been really good. I've enjoyed it.
Well,
but
NA's been the butt of. You also realize, right, that this is the closest that a North American team has come to actually getting out of the groups since, what, 2014 Cologne? When Hiko with Cloud9, that's the last time a North American team got out of the groups out of a major.
Yeah.
How ridiculous is that?
It is very impressive, and it's obviously it's what we are hoping maybe a little bit for this major. Once we go to nationwide, we could obviously expect. I mean, I think the audience, no matter what, is going to be amazing over there. But we've seen some sneak peeks of sort of the
they released one picture.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Well, we hear be it backstage. There's a couple of them sort of going around, right? And things look very cool. But obviously, if you had a sort of an American team, that would be something else. That would be incredible.
That's the cherry on top. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that North American fans, it would be great if there was a North American team to cheer for. But I'm sure that all these fans, like, this is a massive event that's happening here on home turf. It's the major. It's $1 million major. They're going to be, true CS fans. They're going to be there to watch, like, God tier CS be played out over the span of these next 3 days. But yeah, if Liquid are there and they're the first team to basically break the losing streak that North America has had in every major,
going out of the group flawlessly, not even sort of just winning both the games.
Straight into the quarterfinals, and they have all of tomorrow to rest up, get prepped for their next opponent. It would be huge.
What we are getting ahead of ourselves because the scoreline is 12-12, right? So
okay.
but still it's quite impressive what they're doing either way. The one sort of downside that I can see to NA winning sort of the one part of the group stage here is that Moses is going to be insufferable.
You know where Moses has been this entire match? He's been like clenching his little fists, standing behind Liquid.
That's true. He's like, standing right behind him.
You could feel like.
I wish we could get the camera on Moses.
I know,
right now.
Yeah. Or it's just like the will, like he's just like feeding them his energy. Like, please, I believe, Hiko. I believe you can do it.
I think he's actually sort of biting his nails a little bit.
He just keeps like holding his mouth too, just like he's like trying to not to like hyperventilate. Like just the nerves, man.
Well,
but I believe in Moses. It's all right. He's keeping his cool. Of course, he doesn't have the hat on though, so I'm a little disappointed there.
Now we do have the game resumed here, and again, if you are just joining us, you could not possibly be showing up at a better time here. It's 12-12. We're going into the 25th round. It's a tied scoreline between North American Team Liquid and Swedish Fnatic. And obviously, it is still in the group stage as the winners match. The losers don't go out of the tournament, but the winners, they make it through to the quarterfinals. And obviously, there is a lot riding on this one match here. It's very, very critical. And you've got to think maybe a bit more so if you are Team Liquid. Adren going down early on to about 22 health. And Olafmeister and the rest speeding up that work on B. They're trying to see if they can work on A as well. Elish getting a counter headshot, getting a second kill. Could he get a third as well? Nitro has gone down already. Elish doing massive work up on the catwalk. Flusher coming up from long instead. He sprays down to Elish. Going to put it into a quad kill now. One more kill for the ace, and it's a 1-on-2. JW, he's got the bomb, he's got the time, and he's going to try and counter-rotate, but Hiko already sees it coming, and they're going to actually group up in CT spawn. Why not? As long as they don't fight in the JW one at a time, they have a very, very good chance of doing this, but you gotta think at this point, if there's any justice in the universe, Elise is going to have to be the one to ace Fnatic here. That seems like that's appropriate at this point in time, and JW is playing some absolutely mad mind games, putting up the smoke, seeing if he could actually walk through it. He's out on the other side now, Liquid. Oh, he gets the jump in, and now Elise knows where he is, but JW back for the smoke. I don't even know what level of Counter-Strike this is. He fakes the bomb once. JW going to try and see if he can walk out. He's very low on health. Elise on the other side. Grenade going to be going in, and Elise, is he going to try and charge him? He runs in. There's the ace! Oh my!